Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. And even if I get in trouble, ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world.
So I don't see, So I don't see the Mamad jumping in, but I'll go ahead and we'll just kind of get stuff kicked off in a little bit. First off, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, but like Auston is underrated in debate. Like once he reaches a debate stage, you don't want to say anything whatsoever about world history unless you want to get waxed like a classic Pontiac or dog walked like Doberman fresh out the kennel.
Yeah, man. I'm very thank you first of all, but I'm very needed in my own personal peace. I don't think I'll be able to sleep good at night until I reach a debate stage.
I think you were all traveling too. Like, can you just like get back over there to Kenya?
Yeah. No. We're leaving tomorrow.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, today and yesterday was packing stuff, you know, saying goodbye to people, etc. And yeah, so Monday to Tuesday I'll be back in commission. Let's say that.
Oh, okay. I'm finna get on some little travel myself, run out to Atlanta, catch a concert, and then run back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have yet to do Atlanta. I was gonna come back, but man, my had some family issues.
Yeah, man, that's a shame. Like, I mean, like your brother's graduation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But on the side note, though, like, shoot, like, it seems like everything went good with meeting the parents and stuff like that. With your girl?
Yeah. That was great. And of course, since we're about to leave again, I spoke to them today. So, yeah, I mean, it's part of the first step, you know, getting used to being around our family, and you know, things are changing for me. No more Long Island Fridays.
Yeah, man, like you traveled the whole world, met all of these people, and then you ended up finding out that where you really want to be is with Z. And I wonder what she thinks about that. That's sweet, man.
Yeah, I tell her about that all the time. Can you send me that the thumbnail that you have for this live stream so I can put it on my video?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Let me see about that. Right,
this is my audience, but I see that it just has my header.
Oh, you mean the link, or do you mean the thumbnail?
Just the thumbnail photo. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Midnight. I appreciate that. Yeah, she's coming back to Nairobi with me. So yeah, like I said, I'm doing something I've never done.
I might have to pull it up off of this other thing. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and let's play this video to kind of like set the stage a little bit about kind of what we're going to be talking about. And then that'll give me some time to go ahead and send this thumbnail to you.
Okay.
All right. Let's do that.
Women are the least married because we're the most loyal. We just seem to absolutely refuse to date outside of our race.
99 problems, but a nigga ain't one. 99 problems, but a nigga ain't one. 99 problems, but a nigga ain't one. No, shit. 99 problems, but a nigga ain't one. 99 problems, but a nigga ain't one. No, shit. 99 problems, but a nigga ain't one. 99 problems, but a nigga ain't one. 99 problems, but a nigga ain't one.
Black woman does not have to lessen who she is for her to be with a white man.
Oh, really?
I was so desperate for male validation and attention. I used to have a thing with this boy, and he used to call me the N-word, and I just let him. Not only did he call me the N-word, but he wanted me to call him my master as a term of endearment, and I did. He'll be like, "What's up, my little N-word," or "my little slave baby," and I'd be like, "Hey, master." Unsurprisingly, it turned out he never liked me, and I was just an inside joke between his friends.
When I did date white men, that a lot of them fetishized black women. A lot of them were very into race play, and their thing was that they wanted a black woman so that they could feel like a master.
Sound fake. Who you with? Bitch, my massa. 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 Sound fake. Who you with? Bitch, my massa.
A lot of black women won't say this if they do primarily only date white men. A lot of black women won't say this because it's embarrassing. I don't think that they want to admit, like, yeah, I let this white man pretend that I'm his slave.
Let me be clear to the black women that keep pushing this word, just race loyal to black men. Married white men only marry black women at a 0.5% clip.
Here is another quick stat. Black women respond to white men more than mixed race men and way more than black men. This defeats the race loyalty lie they like to parrot, and when people anonymous, such as online dating, they tend to be more honest since no one is watching. Another stat showing that white men message black women the least, compared to other races. It is showing that the probability of white men sending messages to black women is unlikely.
Hi, I think you're really cute. Can I get your number?
Not a fucking chance you're fucking black. I don't date black, you're disgusting. I want to put my gene pool with you.
Cause what is wrong with
women? If you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline, and what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
That's getting you nowhere. Between the years 2015 to 2019, listen to this, black women. You all have had 1 million more children than black men during that time span. Okay? So you guys are hooking up with non-black men. You are having babies by non-black men, but they're not marrying you.
And with that down in Florence, South Carolina. Now, I'm not going to go into details of all the ins and outs of what's going on, because there are hundreds, probably thousands of videos already out there on the case. So just Google it or go on YouTube and you'll find the background on him. But this monster was hit.
He is the white guy who has slept with over 100 Kenyan women. Sounds very similar to the story that we talked about a few months back, where it was a white guy down in Georgia who had slept with hundreds of black women as well, and he was infecting them. Same thing is happening with this Mike Oliver, but this time you have Kenyan women. Now,
Mike Oliver. So allegedly, Mike Oliver has been spreading a package all over Kenya. a package that UPS does not deliver.
Black women seem to be especially loyal to black men, though, and I think it is to the detriment of us getting married.
Was a race riot that occurred in Pulaski, Tennessee, on January 7, 1868. While the riot appeared to be based in a trade dispute of the previous summer between Calvin Lamberth, a white man, and Calvin Carter, an African American, it was provoked when Lamberth shot a friend of Carter's over rumored comments about the former's black mistress.
Is recommended under the guise of so-called civil rights, and I tell you the American people from one side or the other had better wake up and oppose such a program, and if they don't, the next thing will be a totalitarian state in these United States.
Strom Thurmond died at the age of 100 in 2003. A few months later, a woman named Essie Mae Washington Williams publicly revealed she was the daughter of Thurmond and Carrie Butler.
My father's name was James Strom Thurmond.
Nashville, and his name is Robert Brewster. He seems to be very, very concerned about black people. Let me explain what I mean. Not too long ago, he posted this. If the U.S. government deported all blacks, 90% of prisons would be eliminated overnight. Billions could go for housing and healthcare. But it gets worse. This guy also makes videos taunting blacks in historical sources. Now, if you look at this, he's trying to prove that all of these low IQs are coming from the majority of the African continent. Basically, this is his way of saying that the majority of black people or black descent people have a low intelligence, and that's what he's trying to pull off. So despite his racist antics, family, he still will date black women and sleep with them, obviously. So he posts, Robert Brewster posts May 22nd at 11:13 p.m. Why do black girls want a white man? I thought we were demons and oppressors, and these aren't typical black girls that go after white men. These MNFers look like rappers. He starts to post all of these women that are matching with him on dating websites. Let's look at this chick here. Makita Brianna. You see she got the little tongue out and all this. Located in Memphis, Tennessee. 5'1", registered nurse, has kids, college degree. And as it said, she liked him. Now, you might think that he is playing, right? But no, he's not playing. As you can see, there is this particular photo stuff. This dude got to be in his late 40s or early 50s. And black women are matching with him. And what I will say is, like 10 years ago, a guy like this wouldn't have even tried this.
White man, guess what? She's still pro-black. Because guess what? We can do those things.
All right, so that's kind of laying out a little bit of the background there. Let me do one more thing. I gotta invite someone up.
You might want to put your I think you need to put your chat on subscriber only, because there's a bunch of bots.
Oh shoot. Well, let me see. How do I do that on StreamYard? I wonder.
Well, you had to go directly to the YouTube live stream and then click community moderation.
All right. YouTube. I think I go into like this. Maybe under settings.
Yeah, if you click on the settings thing, it says community moderation. Put subscribers or participant mode subscribers.
That's what I've got on there now, I think. Like under post in your community. Oh, that's post on your community. I see. In live chat, I could do this stuff under like inappropriate messages, make it strict.
No, so you got to go to the actual live stream, not the studio part, the actual live stream that the viewer would see.
Oh, okay. Hold up. Put cancel.
crazy how these people are consistently putting out these bots like this. I would love to know who is that.
Yeah, like I didn't think anybody would jump on that and manage to be able to do that over here on mine. Like on mine, nah.
Yeah, no, they don't have a lot of life. So I think they just sit around and this is what they do.
All right, so I'm over here on the actual thing and community moderation. And it's taking me to the damn dashboard.
Let me leave a comment. Maybe if you make me a managing moderator, I could see how to do it. No. Yeah. Let me leave a comment. Okay, yeah. If you make me a managing moderator, I can put it on subscribers only from right here.
All right, done.
Let's see. Hey, this is ridiculous. All right. Okay, I did it.
All right. Let me go back on over to my screen here. Let's see. I think I put that link over there for hot sauce or mod. Ah, there you go. Let me add Mr. Ruffin. Let me add him on. So keep this time for us. Put you up over here. I wonder if we could do it this way. There we go. All right, now you're not on the plane yet, are you?
Me?
Oh no.
No. I'm in the hotel already.
All right, good. So we ended up going with like 5 for opening. So me 5, Austin 5, 4 to go, kind of like 4 each to go back and forth, however much, and then we can put some people on the panel because I want to make sure that people on the panel have time. This is more of a time thing, making sure we have people that have time to come up. I see you over there, Tunnel Runner. That's another one of my mods. All right, so first things first. You want to go first or shall I go first? This is basically what we're getting into is pretty much white worship here in the States versus white worship there on the continent, over there in Africa, and also prestige versus preference.
Do you want me to introduce and all that, or just keep the time?
We could go straight in because we're kind of like 20 minutes in.
All right, so 5 for opening statements, 4 for Q&A, and then after that, like the panel up, right?
Well, we have like a closing statement too. So like 5 for opening, 4 for and it could be like 3 sets of 4, depending on if we want to go that long, which is 12 total. And then the last thing is 5 for a closing statement. Then we bring for each of us, and then we bring people up after that.
So 5 each, then 4 for crossfire, then 5 for closing statements or closing statements.
Yeah, you got it. You pretty much got it.
All right, cool. All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay, just let me know now the time will start.
All right, get on in there and time me then. Make sure that I don't go too far over.
Yep. The time will start on your first word.
All right. So first off, I want to kind of set the stage. I'm not here to tell anybody who they should date. I'm not here to judge any individual couples. I'm not here to make a moral judgment even. But I am here to examine systems because basically that's what I do. Because the question before us isn't whether people have the freedom to choose. The question is whether prestige hierarchy influences what people choose. So yeah, I'm a physicist. This is what I do. I look at complex systems and I try to figure out what the patterns are and what to do about the emerging patterns in the system. I believe that the same approach applies here. The principle is simple. Attraction and prestige are not the same thing, but they are related. Human beings are social creatures, so we learn what's desirable, we learn what's prestigious, and we learn what's rewarded. And over time, those signals shape our preferences. No serious person would really ever argue that prestige has no influence on human behavior. Prestige influences where people live. They influence what careers they go into. It influences what schools they attend. Influences the brands that they buy. People buy Jordans over that. So, yes, it does also influence relationships as well. The debate, therefore, isn't whether prestige matters. The debate is whether race can become like a part of that dynamic, whether prestige and the social hierarchy comes into this. I believe that the answer is clearly yes, though. And let's compare a few things real quick. In the United States, now that we set that tone, in the United States, Black Americans are a minority population operating within the institution, a media apparatus, a wealth structure, beauty standards, and historically have been dominated by the majority population. In African countries, Africans are overwhelmingly the majority population, particularly South-Saharan Africans. That's really what I'm talking about, I guess. They occupy the center of their demographics, their culture, and their reproductive systems. These are not the same conditions. And if the conditions are different, we shouldn't automatically assume outcomes carry the same meaning. Throughout this discussion, I'll argue that interracial preferences inside of a minority population carry different social implications than the preferences inside of a majority population. Not because individuals are inherently good or bad, and not because people should be controlled, but because systems create incentives, and incentives create patterns. And I'm not asking anybody to read minds. I'm just asking them to observe reality. So if you personally observed any of these truths and these dynamics, put truth in the damn chat. Today we're going in. And we're going in on these preferences. Thank you.
Okay. So
Did we set the time?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Did I go over?
No, you had 1 minute and 58 seconds left.
Good.
All right. Austin, on your first word, time will begin.
Okay, so you are making the argument, and first of all, let me say this about the video that you showed. The videos that you showed were very, very, very cringe, and I think the difference that we're seeing in those videos that you showed were videos of terrible Black American women that were choosing to date white men as if it was a leg up, and they were better than Black men, somehow better option. Better gene pool, whatever you want to say it is. Versus after being in 11 countries in Africa, being here since 2023, I will say that, yes, when you find African women that have no access to running water or electricity or even a damn cell phone, they will have a similar mentality. But in the big cities like where I'm at right now, Windhoek, Namibia, Nairobi, you find women that are what I like to call getting their land back. Whenever they date a white guy, they have the getting their land back mentality. They're not dating him because they feel like he has a superior culture. And there may be some people that do that, but I'm telling you, generally speaking, from what I've seen after all this time, you are finding women, because again, they're dating a white guy. You can still smash them while they're married to the white guy. That's just as true as it is. A chick in Latin America get married to a white guy, you're not getting in there. That she's not cheating on him because she feels like she needs him. There's a big difference between white worshiping there and white worshiping here in Africa. White worshiping in America, which I say I disagree. I know we use Inspired Truth. You said that you believe that there's around 30%, I believe you said, of Black women that white worship. Maybe so. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say nah.
No. You can't do that.
But go ahead.
No.
I can't interrupt.
Well, I mean, okay, so you said that there's a larger number than what I perceive to be Black American women that white worship. And I just find that to be in my experience, far from the truth. Now, maybe, I don't know, it depends on where you grew up. Maybe if you grew up in Idaho, maybe it's different. Growing up in Texas, I've dated Black women from all different parts of the states. I didn't find that to be that true.
Is that
That's in the opening?
You're done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now the interaction 4 minutes on 3, 2, 1, begin.
Great, thanks. All right, so those are the two things that I take issue with. Those are the main ones because we see the same dynamic play out over here. They always frame it as a level up. So it's always like, oh, look at what he's doing for me. Look at how my life is softer. He's giving me the soft life, blah, blah, blah. I didn't play it as one of the clips here, but in one of my previous videos, you'll have certain divestors that end up saying, yeah, he's giving me the soft life. But then when they actually fall out or have a big blow up argument or whatever, then the truth comes out and you find out that they're paying for things. Like dude was broke. Dude was living in a basement or sleeping on just a mattress, and they lifted him up. She was the level up, but they constantly portray it as if they're the ones that are getting this level up and getting all of these things elevated in their life. I don't necessarily think it's always a great thing to take what women say as much as it is a better plan to look at what they actually do. Because they always have that say versus system outcomes side of things that ends up applying. It's the same way in general with some of the systems that we see under the structure here in the United States in general. But getting back to this percentage thing, now the percentage depends on how we delineate it. If we want to delineate it in terms of interracial daters or people that are trying to date non-Black, it goes way up. Like you can go and take a look at the book, The Dating Divide. You can look at some other statistical dumps from the different apps, like when the apps were looking into this, and because they were trying to figure out the patterns, whatnot, because when you're in business, you actually try to make money. And so they have found out, yes, Black women do try to overwhelmingly respond to non-Black men. Not 30%, not 40%, closer to 65 to 85%. If you kind of go and look at the different, because they always normalize it to one, like 1.4 times more likely, 1.2, things like that. When you add that up, do a unity rule, you end up with like 65% for white versus Black, or like 85 for non-Black versus Black. And that's how you end up getting to the actual, and then there's the 1 million more kids that Black women have that Black men don't have.
1 minute warning, 1 minute warning.
Thanks so much. Those are not immaculate conceptions. And you would expect for it to be reversed, since Black men are actually married to non-Black women more than Black women are married to non-Black men. Like, we should have more kids, but we don't. They do.
So why do you think that is?
I got to give that over there to you for your rebuttal for your 4 minutes.
Well, what I'm saying is I just don't.
It's supposed to be crossfire, so Auston is right to ask you questions.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go for it. Yeah. So why do I think that is, that they have that million more?
Yeah, those statistics don't sound very realistic.
So here's the thing about statistics. You can have a survey where people tell you what they're going to do, and then you can have actual numbers where you have people documenting what they've actually done. When you go and you look at natal data, like who's being born, that's subjective reality thing. That's not one of those, oh, this is my idea of what's going on inside somebody's heart type of thing. That's called reality. So I'm just looking at what actually the outcomes are. And when you start adding all of these different things together, because you really should add them all together, you should add.
That's 4 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I want to ask. So when you're making this comparison, how are you comparing this to what?
One second, gentlemen. So what are we doing? Are we continuing to crossfire for another 4 minutes, or are we going
Yes.
into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crossfire.
We should do cross for another 10 minutes, 4 minutes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay, so when you're making these comparisons, I want you to connect the data back to what you're saying with how it is in Africa versus US.
All right. So to connect the data in the US, we have like 40% of Black men that have between the ages of 15 to 49 that have kids. 61% of Black women between 15 49 have kids. We have that million more population of kids that they have. We have all of these different, and then we have the dating statistics for saying, okay, who people are actually trying to date for the Africa side of things. And I can't really say what the statistics are over there for Africa, but you do have a majority population. And since you have a majority population there, even if they wanted to date, they couldn't do it. Like I think you played on one of yours previously where it was like 80% were willing to date white guys or non-Black. And that's a survey. So yeah, maybe they would do it, maybe they wouldn't do it, but still 80%, but then your availability is like maybe 10% or something. So it doesn't have the same impact.
So you're saying 10% of African, well, let's narrow it down to a country to be specific, because we can't generalize the whole continent with that one.
True.
What country? Should we use Kenya?
Let's use Kenya, yeah.
Okay, so whenever I say that there's a guy, Frank Zanu, that said that he went on a dating app, and he's a con artist. He's a propagandist. I don't believe half of the stuff he says, but he says that majority of Kenyan women are looking to date white men. I want to ask you, why do you think that is?
Prestige.
You could define prestige again.
All right. So, it may vary between Kenya versus America, but in America, a lot of different things that are positive are related to, for the most part, dating white. Like they're constantly saying negative things about Black men, positive things about white men in terms of prestige. Huh?
You see Kenyan women say that about their own.
No, not Kenyan. No, not Kenyan.
Okay.
American.
Okay.
But yeah, my overall idea is that it's a prestige thing rather than a money thing. And that same narrative, including the stereotypes, including the laundering of narrative, ends up being sent out to Kenya through social media. So they keep pushing this stuff as if it's a level up, as if you're going to get the soft life, as if you're going to get all of this higher elevated status if you just date white.
So you think that Africans, let's say Kenyan women, are white worshiping at the same level as Black American women?
No, but they are on their way through social media trends. We have one every few months.
So, but this is the difference, though. There's a difference between, and you know this, there's a difference between what you see online and what you actually see. If you are online and you see, I guess if you're watching somebody like Matt Walsh or Officer Tatum and you're looking at how they portray Black people, you would think that you be dodging bullets everywhere you go, right? But if you're looking at what you see online in Kenya, which here's the thing, I don't see this. But yeah, I'm not. I don't think you fully solidified your point yet.
Okay, so what's the part that you don't that you take issue with? Like, is it the idea that okay, I get it. So you think that it's just purely a online thing and in virtual space and does not have any reflection in actual lived reality, correct?
Yes, it's a very minute thing there, I would say.
All right. So here's the thing about this. Like, and I get this all the time over here. I can't say with 100% certainty because I don't live in Kenya, but we get that argument all the time that, oh, it's just an online type of thing. And then when we go outside, when I go outside, I see 10 times worse. I see like, or at least twice as worse. Like there's stuff that I see in real life that does not make it to the internet. Like I see full on bums with cute 20-somethings. Dude has no teeth. Dude has skid marks on his shirt and wrinkles on his face. And she is just walking hand in hand downtown in the luscious part of town with him. You get that. You get the ones that are like that are with like the 60-year-olds, putting them all up in the camera, smiling, cheesing down. That's lived reality. That's social media reflecting reality, and only on a small, tiny scale, because you don't stick out your phone and pull out evidence and receipts every time you can, because you're not trying to be like an antagonistic, annoying IRL streamer.
Correct. I get that. It's not always recorded, but in what regions have you seen this?
So one second, gentlemen. What are we doing? We passed the 4-minute mark again. So
are we at 4 minutes already? It's the 12
yeah.
total. Okay, well, yeah, we gotta get into closing then.
So 5 and 5 again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to go first since you already were left off, and talking.
Yeah, I mean, and I see somebody in the comments said that all women are doing that, all races. You do have white women that are doing that, not at such a high rate as black women towards white men, or we could even just go by nationality. I've seen Kenyan women brag about Nigerian men, how they're so much better than Kenyan men, etc., vice versa. You've seen me do it where I go to other countries and say it's so much better. I don't know if it's necessarily a race thing. And I know what you're talking about when you say that dusty white guys are dating black women. But I've only found that to be very true in like Latin America.
All right. You still have time, I think.
No, go ahead. Because I don't think we've made like either we don't disagree enough or we haven't gotten to your exact point that I firmly disagree with.
We had two. It was like the scale and scope, like how many it is, and the other one was about
it's blown out of proportion.
Whether it's prestige or just purely money with the Kenyans.
Yeah, I think it's blown out of proportion completely when it comes to talking about that in Africa. It's blown out of proportion in America. That's why I asked you, what regions are you visually seeing that? Not on the internet, but out when you go outside.
Yeah. So it is a lot. Like, I mean, it is a whole continent, but yeah, we pretty much makes sense to just kind of like stick to Kenya, and that's the one that's kind of like making the news.
What region of the U.S.?
Oh, what region of the U.S.? Oh no, this is everywhere. This is all over. This is like. So this is what you see in Florida. This is what you see in Louisiana. This is what you see in Texas. You see this throughout. I see it's like particularly here in Louisiana because that's where I live currently, but it is everywhere. At least throughout the South.
Okay, yeah, I just haven't seen that.
Well, you've been gone for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that in that certain type. I still feel like that's a very small sector.
That's why I played that last part with O'Shea, like when he was talking about like, okay, it wasn't like this like 10 years ago, or it wasn't like in your face 10 years ago where you would see like full on pretty much white supremacists doing their thing online, and then a steady stream of black women trying to date them. Like, that wasn't a thing, but yeah, it's a thing now. And like, it's an actual like eroticized fantasy thing.
Yeah, I see somebody says that come on, African and black women love and respect white guys, Italian guys, French guys, and many other Europeans are going to Africa sweeping it up. Yeah, people that have been to Africa don't say that. And again, you know, Bobby and I, we say that sometimes maybe our experience is our experience, but like coming to Africa, and listen, many other people that I hung out with, like when white guys walk into the room, it doesn't feel like the attention shifts. Do you feel like the attention shifts?
In America?
Really?
But yeah, it does. So there's levels to it, but yes. But let me get to this closeout so that we can get some of the panel folk up in case they want to be coming up. I think that they do. Huh?
1 minute warning.
Okay. Well, for who? Me or him?
Well, who turn is it? I don't know. Like,
I think it's my turn now.
Well, then he still has a minute left.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm done.
Okay. So then I'm going to start 5 minutes. It starts on your first word.
All right, we'll do. All right, so now that we come to the end of this discussion, I want to just kind of turn back to the central question. And this isn't like basically about whether people are free to choose. Of course, they're free to choose. But whether interracial relationships exist or not isn't the issue. This thing isn't about what's right or wrong. This question here is just still about prestige. Like, it's all about the prestige hierarchy and how that influences what people choose. So I argued that attraction and prestige are not the same thing, but they're related. And I think maybe I probably got that one good and thoroughly kind of hammered home. I argued that society publicly rewards and influences people to make certain decisions, and privately to make certain decisions. I argued that patterns matter. I argued that behavior can become a different social meaning depending on the different social system that you're in. Throughout this debate, I tried to focus on observable reality, not just intentions. Because I don't know what's in somebody's heart. I don't care what's in somebody's heart. You're not going to know what's in somebody's heart. I observe what happens around them. And I don't require people to read minds. I require people to look at incentive structures. And I don't need to talk about some conspiracy or think about some conspiracy. I just look at outcomes and incentives and what things are pointing at in what direction. And what you ask and what you have to consider is not some issue of morality. What you have to consider is a system and a structure and the environment. Because when it comes down to some patterns that appear across media, status symbols, institutions, social rewards, mate selection, we should stop asking if the patterns exist and start asking what actually produces it.
Yeah, so would you say that poverty is one of those?
Yeah, it's a system. It definitely
Okay,
is.
so, but if we're going to talk about Black American women, and they're not in the same level of poverty as women in Africa.
That's true. That's absolutely true. There is this whole idea of what's relative too, because if you have like a bigger pie over here, a smaller pie over there, then what's considered lower over here would be like the relative equivalent over there.
I mean, maybe so. I'm not really seeing it. Do we have any other contrary beliefs? Somebody says they see a demand white supremacy race play, and they supply themselves knowing they'll be chosen. It's kind of economics. I just don't think this is a big enough issue to worry about.
I do. I think that this is not an issue of like a few bad apples. I think it's an issue of contaminated soil. And like, you really have to kind of look at the soil, because you're not getting just a few bad apples. And shoot, if I inspired you all to look at the actual systems instead of just like looking at the little small incidental anecdotal stuff here and there, put inspired in the damn chat. Let's open this up and bring some people up.
Yeah, Language Club, if you're still watching, click the link. Let's see.
Let me get you in, Tunnel Runner. What's good, my man?
Everything's good, sir. Everything's good, my brother.
You're in Colombia, so I know it, or you roll in Colombia often, so I know things good for you.
Oh, yeah. Everything's good. Everything's good. I had my coconut pancakes this morning, so everything is going very well for me.
Oh, I didn't even eat yet. I need to cook some. Let me put this link back in the chat again. Oh, might need to send it to I might need to send it to Austin so that people can come up.
Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can do this right quick. Wait, actually, I think I did. Like, you have it in the text.
Yes. Actually, yeah, you're right. I do.
So you can put it over there in your chat. Do you disagree with anything, or you have a perspective about what we presented, Tunnel Runner?
Yeah, I mean, I hear both of your stories. I mean, I think, like I said, in the dating divide, it did show that they have the opportunity to date white men. They will definitely date white men. It just shows that if they have the opportunity, of course, in some places they don't have the opportunity, so they're going to have to get the people around them. So I mean, this is almost like science. It's almost these things have all happened, and we can see it. It's very clear.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, there's plenty of white men in these African countries, and I would argue that they still prefer black men. I mean, there's plenty of white folks in South Africa. There's plenty of white folks in Kenya there. If they wanted to mix, they could do that. There's not that many mulattoes in Kenya.
I mean, I'm not going. I hear what you're saying, and I haven't been to the continent yet, but I have seen this in America, and like I say, in South America, and even in places like Jamaica, which is 90% is considered 90% black, and you still have if they had the chance, I think they would. Some of them don't have a chance, so some of them are realistic about what the opportunities are. If there aren't that many white people around, they can't get to them. So what they're going to have to do their second. What's going in their mind is only what you can see them by their actions. You can't really see, and if they have the opportunity, a lot of times they will take it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but like you said, I feel like Latin America is the true thing of I feel like Latin America is the ideal case. Like, I've said that Latin America, they white worship. It seems like half the population of Latin America is mixed, versus it's not that way in Africa. TT 222 says there are a lot of mulattoes in Kenya. No, they're not. I can guarantee you most Kenyans are asteroid black. There are not that many mulattoes in Kenya. I've been there for years. There's not, like, I'm in Namibia right now. There are very many mixed people here. Like, this is what you call a lot. Now, if you talk about seeing one mixed person per day, a lot, then so be it.
Yeah,
I mean, we can even look it up.
Opportunity drives a lot of that. It's opportunity. If there's not that many, if you're talking about a country like Kenya, which is probably what you would say.
Let me say something if I can before I head off.
It says 2%. 2% of Kenya is mixed race.
Oh, wait.
2%.
Oh, wait, let's get Mr. Ruffin in real quick because he gotta go. I know he's traveling.
Yeah, okay. I will say this. I agree that there is a lot of white worship in Kenya. I've been in Kenya multiple times. I actually live and have business in Lake Naivasha area in Nanuki. I've been to Nairobi lots of times, and I deal with Kenyans both in Kenya and in China because there's a lot in China. right? And when it comes to Kenyan women, it's white guys and Nigerian guys, and Kenyan women do talk down to their men, like Black African women do, not to the same degree, but they do, right? A Kenyan woman would absolutely choose someone from or interracially or what is what I'm looking for? We're same race but different culture before she would choose a Kenyan man.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a white worshiping thing. I mean,
Well,
again,
but I mean the right worship comes into where they think that white is better. They'll give white people the right of way when it comes to customer service, especially at Westgate Mall. They
yeah, but
also
those
have
are places that's designed for that, basically.
yeah. Well, I mean, but it shows itself. It shows itself, in my opinion, in different ways, and then
Well,
also with the skin bleaching as well.
Sorry to cut you off. Have you been to Pattaya, Thailand?
Well, I've been to Bangkok, Thailand. And
Okay, have you heard of 808, the club for black guys in Pattaya, Thailand?
Yeah, I know that place. Yeah.
So when you bring up Westgate Mall, you're essentially saying, "Hey, I'm a white guy. I went to 808, and the Thai chicks didn't like me." But you were at a spot that's designed for black men in Thailand.
Well, I mean, we can say the same thing for Westlands, Hollingum, right? We can say Westlands, Hollingum, Deer Park, right? Those areas also as well, and then downtown, right? If a white guy's in any one of those areas, right, he's definitely going to get, and it's Chinese also, right? They're going to get favoritism.
Oh dear God, the Chinese.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing: if that was necessarily true, the amount of white men and Chinese men and Indians there would be a far larger mixed population there. The majority of Kenyans aren't mixed, not even close to half, not even close to 30%. And I'm telling you that just off the top of my head, but I Googled it and it says 2%.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But the point is this, is that we're missing, there's two parts to the calculus. It's Kenyan women wanting to date out versus foreign men not really wanting to date Kenyan women. So let's take Nigerian men, right? Lots of Nigerian, well, not a lot, because I don't want to oversell it. You have Nigerian men there, right? Kenyan snatching up Kenyan women, right? Because they value the foreigner over their own men. And when it comes to the topic today of white worship, between the skin bleaching, between the better customer service, between the white guy is closer to God, because even when you talk about religion and stuff like that, I have conversations with them and talk about like Christ is not white. They lose their mind.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, those people usually don't have access to running water.
No, this is in Westgate, Hollingum, right? This is in Deer Park. This is not like, I'm not hanging out with people with no running water. I'm hanging out with friends because I got introduced to Nairobi via China, right? I'm hanging out with people who live and work abroad that invited me to come back to Kenya. So these are not like people in the sticks. These are people who travel, work, and study abroad.
So you feel like, again, and this is what I like to ask, you feel like when you're in Nairobi and you are at Nairobi Street Kitchen.
Okay, yeah.
You feel like whenever white men walk in a room, it takes away from your chances.
No. What I'm saying is that there is the what I'm saying that when white and Chinese walk into the room, okay, we're American, we're Black American. When we walk into the room, there's privilege there. There's that foreign privilege, right? Same like wherever we go as Black Americans, whether we're in Asia, whether we're in Africa, there's that that's the American foreign privilege, right? Would you agree to that?
Yeah. Oh, in most places, yeah.
In most places, right? We got that foreign privilege, okay? But there's a tier system there. We'll get more privilege than the locals everywhere we go. But in Kenya, the Chinese and the white person will get that privilege, in my opinion, over everybody.
Do you think if the Belt and Road Initiative did not exist, that would be a thing?
Well, obviously not, right? I mean, there's reasons for it. There's
so
reasons.
Is it a meal ticket or is it white worship?
Well, I mean, it goes hand in hand, right? Because you know, money and power speaks, right? And so
But we have that too.
Right. So that's why I said we have the privilege, right? I said we get American privilege. I started with that.
Yeah, but I mean, but saying that white men over us in Africa is, I feel, is incorrect, because I mean, I feel like most people like people that look like them. Like, there's a reason why it's easier for you to date in Africa than it is in Russia.
I don't know. I would disagree with that.
I would disagree with that.
So you think most white women are going to bed thinking about black men versus most black women are going to bed thinking about black men?
I would say as African American, so I've been like everywhere, but I lived in the Philippines. I lived in Thailand for like 3 months. I lived in China for 20 years. And I lived in like a couple, and I've been in Kenya for 8. If we're talking African American men, I'm not saying they're thinking about. I'm not saying they're thinking about black men, but going to Russia getting a girl, going to Africa getting a girl is pretty much the same.
Yeah, the thing about the thing real quick, like there are like actual like, you know, stats available like on this type of stuff. Like for the women will go the other route. The men are the most loyal. Like the men are the most into
right. So when we talk about, if we're talking about Russia and Germany, I'm going to disagree with you. But if we talk about UK or Scandinavia, then yeah, you're right. They're not going to date black dudes like that. But Russia and Germany, they no problem.
So you feel like if you would have a better shot at dating in Germany than Kenya?
No. It's all equal. All equal.
So you feel like there is an equal understanding, because here's the thing about being black in Africa. Whenever you date someone, race is not the topic of discussion.
It's tribe.
We don't have a tribe. That's the thing, though. We don't have a. That's irrelevant.
Well, because what I'm saying,
that's like irrelevant. So, why are we bringing up tribe?
Because or nationality. So, for example, right, lots of people are cautious about Nigerians, right? It is harder for Nigerians to date in Kenya than an African American,
especially in Japan, also.
Okay, right? Well, again, but I mean, I'm going back to this. Whenever you go, and this can happen anywhere in the world, whenever you date a white girl,
right,
in America, what is going through her head? What are my parents going to think?
Right.
Now, when you date a foreigner, when a African woman dates a foreigner, that may be a thing, but is it really the same?
Well, I mean, you can't, like, so for example, right? Let's take your analogy. A white woman in America dating a black American, and then a Kenyan dating a white American, right? It's not going to be the same. A Kenyan is going to be looked at as she has leveled up. Back home, she has leveled down.
So this is what I'm saying. I mean, that's kind of making the same point that I'm making, is that when you go interracial with dating, the family becomes an issue. Walking around, listen, I'm telling you from experience, being in Romania, going on a date with a Romanian woman, it was very uncomfortable being the only black person out with a white girl.
Right. Well, we made the distinction.
So,
Right?
but then how can you say that it is easier for a black man to go to Russia, or it's the same as a black man to go to Russia as it would be going to Kenya? When
Can I interject a little bit?
When you're
Can I interject
walking
a little
around
bit?
Kenya as a black man, nobody's looking at the race thing.
Well, because in Russia and Germany, they have affinity for black men. That's why it's easier.
If that's the case, here's my thing, right? So I think what we're mixing up is going to a few, let's say we're going to a few 808s or a few what do they call it, Afrobeat nights, and then getting pretty much being blunt, getting some pussy, and then being like they love black men, when really
I'm talking full on relationships. I'm talking full on.
That's a thing. I mean, that's a thing. You can have a full on relationship, but do you feel like more than 30% of Russian women want to marry a black man?
I mean, now you kind of adding a percentile to it, but that's kind of changing.
No, from your perspective.
If we can add on American black men, I would say yes. Black men, no. But
You genuinely feel like
yes,
somewhere around 30% of Russian women want to marry.
I've studied with Russian women in Guangzhou. I visit Russian people in St. Petersburg, right? Yes, I hung out, like, so for example, right? Russia and China have very strong connections. Russians come to Guangzhou to study Chinese. When I first came to China, that's where I met Russians. That's where I met Russians.
30% was the same percentage that you not you posted, but that you had in that other video that the other guy posted when he was talking about like white women that would date black men.
I'm trying to get to a point.
You can't use China as an example because
I'm trying to get to a point. So my point is this, right? I've hung out with Russian people both abroad and in their home country. That's what I'm just trying to highlight, right? Because they come to China to study, they vacation in Hainan in southern China, and when you meet these people, you build relationships. Because remember, I've been here for 20 years, so I built relationships with them. You know, we were friends in college, things like that, and then you go back to their home country and you chill with them. And what I'm saying to you is this: if black men, no, African American men, 30%, no problem. St. Petersburg, no problem. Now, if you go to like Siberia, something like that, it might be a little bit different. But major cities, no problem.
Germany's the same. Germany is the same.
Luxembourg, I keep saying it, Luxembourg, man.
Okay, so again, my point is, okay, this is what I was saying. Using Russian women that you met in China doesn't really add up, because you can meet a Saudi woman in Texas and she's not going to behave the same way she would in Saudi Arabia. That's why I like to use the home country as the primary example to use, because that is how they really act.
Well, that's what I'm telling you is that I've hung out with them both abroad and in the home country, right? Because in college, friends, you go back, like during the breaks, you go back and visit them in their home countries.
So you feel like, but you feel like a black man moving around Europe has a better shot than a black man, or an equal shot to moving around Africa?
Certain countries, if we're talking Russia, if we're talking Russia and Germany, yes. But if we're talking UK, no. If we're talking Luxembourg, no. If we're talking Italy, no, of course not. Right? But if we're talking Germany, absolutely.
So you feel like those women are niche, right? You feel like those women.
Yes.
Well, so here's the thing: like, there's been plenty of Romanian, there's been plenty of Africans that have been imported into Nigeria for schooling. Don't you think if that was true, we would see more of a mixed population there?
I mean, you're mixing it though, because you're saying Black American, then you're saying Nigerian. These are two different populations.
African American, right? I said you got to put American on that. American on that.
Okay, well, let's stick for African American.
Yeah, you got to put American on that, because if we're talking about African, or you can put Brit Black on there, but if we're talking about African, then hell no.
So you feel like Let me ask you this: if a young man wanted to have his best shot at dating in another country, you would recommend him Germany over Kenya?
No, I would recommend him. I would recommend him Tanzania first, Ethiopia. I would not recommend Kenya. No, Tanzania, Ethiopia.
Why would you not recommend Kenya?
Because they cheat a lot, bro. They're not faithful like that.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, you asked me why. So they cheat.
Related to the race topic, not the loyalty of the women,
right? And especially, and no disrespect, but especially like Kikuyu women, bro. Ron.
Oh my God, but he going Pacific.
Ooh.
He gonna start a fight. Don't be starting no fights over here, bro. He got
live
over there,
go crazy.
Well, I mean,
he got to live over there.
You know about Kikuyus, you know.
Oh, but I know they happen here in Atlanta.
Everybody who's been in Kenya for a while know about them. So.
Okay.
And I think the thing is we're only looking for a few women. You know, we don't need to have 100 women. So when you say something like, you're just trying to find a good woman or a bunch of women, but you can't. I mean, there's no way you're going to go to a different country and get all the women. You can't get all the women in America.
All the women, though.
You get all the women in Africa. You have to try to find the women that's the best for you.
Yeah, but if somebody's looking to date and be serious with somebody, why would you put them in a spot where they're the least desired? Why would you not put them somewhere where they have more options in the first place?
Well, I mean, hold on. Can I say something real quick? Just real quick. All right. I think you gotta understand how desire works. Desire kind of necessarily as like a sliding scale, right? I put you in one environment, you may be highly desired. I put you in another environment, you may be not so, right? And let's say, like I said, let's say in different countries in Europe, you're a novelty, so you're the special one you're the only raisin in the milk bowl, right? So you're special because you're that, right? When you come to quote unquote Africa, like for me, because I've actually dated in Africa for a long period of time, actually. Was it Uganda and Tanzania, to be specific, right? When I'm there, I'm just the black guy with a different kind of spice. That's just really how they kind of look at me. They're like, you know, you're an African or you're like an American with a different kind of spice. That's how they really look at me, right? So it's really just no difference. It's just, you know, if you bring Texas barbecue to any place that ain't got Texas barbecue, it just becomes special because it's just different.
Bro, I've been to white countries and I can tell you from experience, like there is a extremely noticeable difference in between how you're received in black countries versus white countries. Like again, when you're talking about white countries, or non-black countries, you're talking about like a niche. Like you become a select few that like people like you. The majority of them.
I think it would be the same if you were in Uganda or Kenya.
America. So are we a niche in America too?
I could barely hear you. What'd you say?
Are we a niche in America when we're only 13% of the population?
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. You're talking about going to a diverse country. We're talking about going to white or black countries, not diverse countries.
Well, I mean,
America's diverse.
But if we're talking about receive, right, African American men being received, or African American people, right, you're always going to be received well in Asian and African countries. No question about that. No question about that, right? You're going to be received well in Southeast Asia. You're going to be received well in Africa, East Africa in particular, right? In general, like when it comes to Kenyan people, they're very hospitable and they're very, very friendly and they're very nice, amazing people when it comes to being received and welcome and sharing culture, things like that. No question about that. Kenya is the spot for that. But when we're talking about, like, so for example, right, when we talk about valuing our own race, idea about who we are as a people, things like that, Kenyan people aren't like that. Black people are much more pro-black. Even the most non-pro-black African American is much more pro-black. It has much more self-esteem about Black people than Kenyans do.
A little too much. We got a little too much of that.
Well, but even if she still dates Black, there is that inferiority complex when it comes to that. So even if she's not even going to date the white dude, right? There's that in there, right? And it's in the men too. It's there.
I guess.
I mean, colonialism did take its effect on most people on the continent and throughout the world. I mean, that is to be kind of expected.
If that was the case, like I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in.
But we're Americans, bro. When we travel the world, we're Americans.
Yeah, but Black is Black. Like
no, it's not.
Do you think that some racist ass Indian knows the difference between a Nigerian and a Black American? Like they Black,
they absolutely do. They absolutely do.
So why was they throwing bananas at ice show speed?
I'm like, hold on. Let's not get we treat differently as meaning no racism, but they do understand the difference. They do understand the difference and the power of your passport. I've been in Asia 20 years. There's a difference. There's a difference how I'm treated versus how Africans are treated in Asia.
I've been to Japan. I've seen the same thing. How they treat Africans is very different how they treat Black Americans. And because I think we even have like the reputation, like you can get the reputation of, I hate to say it like this, of like being somewhat quote unquote a little bit violent is that's even translated over where some people will look at me and be like, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but they'd be like, I don't think I want to try him. But then they'll try like an African guy necessarily who's even clearly bigger than me for some reason.
Yeah, but I mean,
all Black.
That's a U.S. citizenship power thing. Yeah, but I mean, if we're talking about dating, I mean, you're still Black. Like, I mean, you're still a nigga. Like,
I mean, that's how you see yourself. That's not how everybody else sees you.
That's how they group. They group them all together.
I don't even group Thais or any people that would be considered jungle Asians together. I very much understand the difference between a Thai and a Cambodian. I thoroughly understand the difference between a Chinese and was it a Korean. I think it's kind of crazy for you. I think it's kind of odd that you don't think they understand the difference between a Black American and a Nigerian. You know
listen. Let me ask you this. If you are in the United States as a Black man and you bring home a white girl, but she's from Slovakia, do you think your Black mom is like, oh no, she's not white American, she's Slovakian? Don't nobody give a damn about that. She's still white.
No, but now we're conflating also. Also, we're conflating because the situation is this. The way we are treated in Asia as opposed to how an African man will be treated in Asia is very different. And that goes all around the world.
It's a reason why you have like the same saying certain nationalities that can pass for Black American when they go, like say abroad or they have a blue passport, they say, oh, I'm Black American. It's the reason I've seen people say that. It's the reason they do that.
Like you could talk passport OG, right? He's been in Japan 10 years. I've been in China 23 years, bro. Is a difference. Now that's not saying that you will not experience racism, but I'm definitely going to have privilege over Africans in China, 100%. I'm going to have privilege. I'm going to have privilege and power over Africans in Japan. I'm going to have privilege and power over Africans in Africa
and Brazil too. Crazy enough, I've seen that.
Yeah.
In Colombia, I have more prestige. I get more love in Colombia as a Black American than a Black Colombian. It's just it is what it is.
I've heard it a lot. Like a lot of people are saying that there's definitely differences. I guess that there's a certain thing that we project across the world globally through our media.
Like for example, right? I was engaged to a Kenyan woman, right? When we want to go to Hong Kong, right? When I go to Hong Kong by myself, 2-3 seconds, I'm done. I don't need a visa. I don't need an application, anything like that. When we go to Hong Kong together, They put her in a line. She got to go through a 10, 15-minute interview. It's a whole process and thing, right? And it was normal for her. Then when she found out how easy I could go through Hong Kong, and we're both black, then she didn't want to go to Hong Kong anymore because she saw the difference. She saw how I could just walk right past, and they'll see us together holding hands, talking. I walk right past, and then when they get her passport, oh, you got to go over to the immigration officer to talk every single time. There's a difference.
Yeah, when I was going to with my wife. My wife is a Paisa. She's blonde hair, gray eyes. We going to Thailand, and they stop her. They go, "Oh, you got a Colombian passport. Where's your yellow fever?" The yellow fever. They were trying to pull it to the side. Wait a minute, you gotta have, you gotta have this. You're a Colombian. You're an American. You can go, sir. We have to go through. I had to take this situation. So
Oh, the yellow fever
shots
certificates. You're talking about yellow fever
and I was
certificates.
American, and I didn't have to go through that yellow fever situation. So those are the things that internationally, Americans, we have certain advantages.
Right. Like even right now in China and America are not getting along together. It is still 1,000 times easier for you as an American to get a visa to come to China, even though our countries are beefing, than the Kenyan.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making is like none of that geopolitics matters when it's time to meet your girl's family if you're black. Like that shit doesn't matter.
Oh, yes, it does.
Thinking about Donald Trump whenever it's time to meet their wife's family.
But that privilege goes to, like, for example, that privilege goes to job boards. That privilege goes to hanging out, making friends. Like, for example, when you look on Chinese job boards, no Africans apply, right? That goes directly to your income, your individual income, right? When they want to date, right? Matter of fact, the Nigerians here are lying in sand there from New York or whatever to the Chinese girls to date them.
I mean, again,
right? Because I have Chinese friends, and they say, "Oh, my boyfriend is such and such, from Kansas City or New York, whatever." Then they meet me, and then they go tell the girlfriend, "Oh, I only lived in America. I'm not American." And she's like, "What?"
Yeah, I mean, again, like somebody's in the chat said, I mean, you can go to Argentina and try it. I mean, there's plenty of places where it doesn't. Like, that shit doesn't matter. Like, the whole, I got a U.S. I mean, when I was hanging out with Floyd, he was walking up to chicks saying, "I'm an American." That shit did not work.
Yeah, well, Floyd is Floyd.
But I mean, by
I mean, if you're a 2-foot midget and you came up to anybody, I mean, you still gonna get some of the same reactions. I mean, I guess that's kind of a bad example, bro.
I honestly, when you were in Argentina, I'm pretty sure you and Floyd's results are very, very different. And if you throw an African in there, I'm pretty sure his results will still be better than that African. That's what we're saying.
No. So there was actually the majority of the blacks I met there were African, and they were in relationships. And like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I would not go back there for that reason. Like, I wouldn't recommend nobody go there as a black man to go like date.
I mean, Argentina is probably one of the most racist countries on the planet, but that's also like choosing, like, I mean, going to like Mississippi and saying, I'm looking for a Mississippi white woman to marry. I mean, you technically are going to like the worst place to go do that, though.
Yeah.
Argentina, Chile, where else? Where they have serious anti-black racism over there would be like because remember, everybody forgets race. If you're going to Latin America, racism is a little different over there than it is like in North America, especially the racial classification. Because because whiteness is defined something different. I mean, Trinell knows what I'm talking about, all right?
Well,
most of y'all came from a place where it's hold on, because y'all come from places is washed. Over there, it's WIC, White Iberian Catholic. And that's the thing people forget about. But go ahead.
I want to level set the conversation. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist for African Americans when you travel outside the country. It does exist. It exists everywhere. It's not going to. It exists everywhere. You're going to experience that. I'm not trying to portray that, but when we're talking about bringing it back to the topic about white worship in Africa, it's abundant and it's everywhere, and you can't get around it. It's not only in the dating with the women; it's in the men too, right? It's in the skin bleaching. It's in the idea of white people are better at business and developing and coming to help us, right? They got people screaming, begging for Mr. Beast to come.
They don't have access to running water.
Yeah. I get you. And I'm
I
not.
mean,
I'm not.
if they're calling for Mr. Beast to come, they have at least electricity, man. So I mean,
Hang on, I'm not negating that.
Mr. Beast went to go help a bunch of people that had no running water and what's that stuff on your teeth? Tartar on their teeth, no running water, and they probably never went to school a day in their life. Of course, they're gonna whitewash it.
What I'm saying to you is this, Austin, from the guy in the village in Nanuki, right, to the woman that is in Westlands. It's in both of them. It's just the degrees of variation. So it's not going to be as pronounced in a woman who lives in Hollingham, Westlands, or down in Deer Park, or over there.
Yeah, but bro, these things. Have you ever been to Dallas?
Yeah.
So you're basically going to Highland Park saying black women don't want you.
But
Can I say something?
Hold on. Let me play here. So what I'm saying is this: like you can absolutely get a Kenyan girl as an African American man. Most places around the planet, as an African American man, you can get a woman. That's not I don't think that is the topic, or I might be wrong. But what we're talking about is this: is that if when the choice comes between you and a European, or you and a white American, then the choice is going to be that white American.
Every time.
Can I say something? Well, I guess we defeated. Can I say something?
Wait, who?
I don't see it, but I mean, I guess so.
Yo. Let me say something real quick. Oh, on topic of white worship. Yesterday, this is kind of funny. It tied into this. I was watching Instagram, and I guess just going through some reels, and I saw like one of those videos. I don't know if you guys seen them. You know those people in Tanzania, like the Hadzabe tribe people. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
All right. Yeah, they don't have no running water either.
Yeah. I saw them, and then some guy. It was definitely a Black American guy. He was making some kind of comedy out of the situation, you know. And a lot of the comments were people Black saying, "Thank God we got, our ancestors were enslaved." You know, I just started kind of laughing about that. I'm thinking like tying into this conversation, is it kind of similar where like you're talking about these people look at white people as better for development? Isn't it kind of also ironic how people in America would look at, a small clip of a video of people in Africa and say like, damn, thank God we got we got enslaved in America, because they also look at white people as better for development.
I've heard that argument. It's cringe as hell.
Yeah. But anyway, gentlemen, you take it easy. I'm tired, but at the end of the day, man, I'm Austin. You're right, bro. When you talk about the women that's going to be most prevalent to it, but I'm just going to say, in my experience, it just oscillates between 1 and 10. But as a Black man, you can get a girl. You can get a girl for a relationship anywhere. But you're absolutely right. Africa is going to be easier. It's going to be easier. Right? It's going to be easier for the most part.
I mean, just logically thinking, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, is it going to be easier for a Chinese guy to date a Chinese woman or a Black woman? I mean, that's the point I'm making. Like, it's the whole point about determining. Like, I mean,
shit, that African woman.
Hold on.
Surprisingly enough.
Let me say it this way. Is it easy to date? Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it depends on the African country, right? Like, it's going to be easy to get a woman to date. Yeah, but to have a long-lasting relationship and marriage, I think that is where my answer would change a bit. But is it easy to date? Yeah, sure. Sure. It's easy to date. Yeah.
Yeah, I see somebody in the comments said the amount of times I've been in a club in Nairobi and I've seen a bunch of white dudes at a table by themselves. Is that white worship? Yeah, I mean, I broke it down many times, and I don't want to be disrespectful because I have plenty of white friends in Kenya that are from America. But most white men that are dating in America are dating in Kenya are dating Kenyan women that are also fucking behind their back, and that are also women that we wouldn't even be looking at in the first place.
But
Like,
Kenyan women cheat though. That's not
yeah,
being
no,
honest.
but the thing is, they're cheating on white men with black men. That's the point. So if that's white worship, so be it. If she possibly gonna be married to a white man and pop out with a black baby, if that's white worship, so be it. If Mr. Beast marry a Kenyan woman and she get a baby that look like me, and you call that white worship, so be it.
No, I
No,
think
that's not what it is. That is actually more like
one second.
that
Because
hold on.
No, you hold on.
All right.
I have seen like I have Kenyan friends, and I have a bunch here because they come here to study a lot, right? Because they have some kind of scholarship program, and Kenyan women just cheat, bro. Like I don't like saying she's gonna cheat on a white man. That's not really saying
we know
much.
that. We know that.
Yeah, they
We know
cheat. So
that.
I mean, like that's not really saying much.
But my point is, whenever you're in Kenya as a black man, like it's not. I've seen white worship. I've seen white worship in both sides. Like when you're in Kenya as a black man, when white guys walk in the room, like the chicks don't start doing backflips and shit like y'all are making it seem. Whenever
Oh, yeah, they do. They do it in Ghana. They do it in Ghana.
No, they don't. Whenever I was in Sao Paulo, and only when I hung out with my white friends, I felt invisible. Like I was irrelevant as hell. Only when I was with them. That shit is not happening in Nairobi.
Well, I feel like I have had different experiences in Africa, right? But my experiences is in Uganda and Tanzania, and I have seen plenty of times. I've been out there chilling for let's say a couple of months or whatever, right? I hear one girl tell her friend, "Oh, Mzungu came! Oh, Mzungu came!" I'm telling you, all of a sudden they start throwing on them little wigs and they start running outside. I'm like, well, damn, you would have thought Jesus came.
But
you would have thought the king came. How they was coming.
I just want to say something really quickly about the Kenyan thing, because like when we talk about like Kenyan women sleeping on the white dude, but she's sleeping on everybody though. Like
yeah, we passed that point though, man. We get that. I've made dozens of videos about that.
So yes, I mean, what I will say is that you can find like okay, like for example, you know how you go, like you've been to Thailand a bunch, right? So
yeah,
you see how like the 50-year-old dude with like the 18-year-old girl, or the six or like the 60-year-old dude with the 30-year-old woman, right? Because Thailand, we would both agree Thailand has white worship, right? They have white worship.
100%.
All right, you get the same thing in Kenya, bro.
Yeah, if you hang out in Westlands, yeah, you'll see that, but like that's not the norm there. That's the point I'm making. That's not.
Honestly, I don't even think in Thailand it's white worship. It's just compatibility. White people
Thailand is white
been in, it's not white worship. White America has been in Thailand for years before even black people got the chance to visit there. They've been having their bases there. That's how they built Pattaya, because of the U.S. military. This is just
Southeast Asia.
This is just familiarity. They're compatible with each other. There's nothing wrong with that. Though we can't just call it white worship just because they don't necessarily worship us. Like niggas, it's just natural. They like each other. It's normal for them to like each other.
But when you go to bleaching,
hold on, the thing is like
when you bleach your skin, that's white
no
worship.
Bleaching your skin does not have nothing to do with white worship. Bleaching your skin is just a product that women find that enhances their beauty. This has nothing to do because they want to be white. They just really think that this is something that enhances. Everybody knows this in Asia. This is before even America. Like, what are you talking about? This like
my question. Where are you from? My question. Where's your home country from?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm from Sudan. What's up?
Okay, my question.
Wait. Oh, what's good? Oh, good. What's good, bro?
What's good,
So,
King?
from Sudan, right?
Big brother.
What's good, Chief?
Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eritrea right here, brother. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
So
we
my
gotta
question
get
is,
you in, Namor,
so you
because like
don't see
everybody in
the
the
white
chat is
worship
shouting you
that.
out.
Yeah, because I was
So you
saluting
don't see
everybody earlier. I was showing my respect as I do usually when I come in. I just salute everybody in the chat. Yeah.
No, but I mean, but no offense, you two are not. You two, never mind. Y'all have a good night, y'all. I don't want to get myself.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good night.
Yo, can we get some sour cream for his brother's hot dog while we at it? My old Haitian buddy sends his regards. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to be a bit of a pain in the ass to Inspired Truth, but there's something I do have to mention first and foremost. I understand the discussion here and the nature of it, but we have to also forget, since some people are like 20 years removed, but in the past, but since the war on terror, there have been there've been a preference for other whites other than that U.S. passport, and I remember like in the early years of war on terror, anytime an American was traveling overseas, had to lie they were Canadian for our own safety. And not to mention that, in certain parts, they have a more preference for white people. They would most likely prefer a European than a North American or a Canadian for that matter.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is a diminishing view of the United States globally because of some of the different actions that we've taken that the rest of the world has not agreed with. And so that is a factor in the mix. And so, yeah, there's difference. You can be white, but then what type of white? You can be black, but what type of black? Like your reputation does follow you.
Especially the reputation of your government.
Correct.
Well, I will say this too. The guy that said that there are, whenever white men walk into the room in Nairobi and girls start doing backflips, that happens. I'm not going to name these places because I don't want to tarnish them at all or make them seem no type of way. But there's a few places in Westlands where, yes, if you walk in, those are designated areas for white men to go to. The same way how there's 808 in Brunei and there's Afro clubs in Bucharest, Romania. But you can't take that one experience with that and make it seem like that's just everywhere, because it's not. I mean, if you go to the polo or the horse race, not just me because I'm Auston Holleman, people know me there. I'm talking about other people that are regular people that nobody knows outside of the people in that room. They have similar experiences to me. And I've brought white guys to Kenya, white guys, Puerto Ricans that are more, on the white side, the typical looking Latino guy. And they don't get that same action we get. Like, it's just, I have yet to see that.
You said you necessarily or they get. So my question, so I mean, are there other Black Americans that's also there?
Yes, there's a lot of Black Americans there, like a lot.
I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have, and let's say in Kenya you'll get a better shake. I would never say that you would never get a better shake necessarily there. It's just when it comes to the white worship, it's kind of a universal thing. Like I was in a hotel was one of my girls I'm dating, one of her friends. And when her friends walked in, oh, girl, it's another Mzungu out here, and and I watched the whole time of the women just literally exit out.
What hotel were you staying at?
I forgot what was the hotel. It was a hotel in Kawempe. I can't remember the Pacific name. It was about 2 years ago. I can't remember the name of the place.
Was it a mainstream hotel?
No. This was an actual hotel for the actual locals. I'm actually mingling with the locals when I'm here. Like I'm actually there. I don't just mingle by myself. I mingle with the locals. So when I'm actually there, I'm sitting there with her friends and I'm watching the reaction of the women. So I'm actually watching them.
My thing is this though: how much was that hotel per night?
No. You misunderstand what I'm saying. It was a hotel and an apartment. That's probably the correct term, apartment, right? That one of the locals actually, I think people renting it or something like that, right? I'm just there, observing the culture. I'm actually there amongst the people. I'm there with her brothers. I'm there with her, close family members and such other. I'm watching their skin. I'm watching how necessarily one woman come in and say, I'm a Muzungu here, and I see almost an entire a room of women just vacate in 1 second. So I mean, that's an actual visceral response. Like I mean, it's kind of like when when people say the king is coming, that's insane, and all of a sudden everybody run outside the door to go see the king. You know?
Yeah, but no, what I'm asking you is, how much was that? Like, what would you say that apartment cost per month?
I wouldn't know necessarily. It probably at max maybe cost 150, maybe 100. And
so you're talking about dirt poor women. You're talking about $150 rent. Of course, they're gonna do backflips when white folks walk in the room. I would too.
Let me add.
No, you asked me. I don't know the rent necessarily. I don't know the level of the rent, but I'm just guessing, bro. Like,
let me add a little bit. Do y'all remember the Danish Deception? That chick was not poor by any stretch of the imagination. She was not poor.
Yeah.
Like she had money, and she's
excuse me, inspired. Excuse me, inspired. If I may say something here that's really important and relevant to this conversation. To JB100, I will address the skin bleaching thing in a little bit. Because colorism in Africa is the original colorism, but I'll deal with that in a little bit. But first and foremost, I think, brothers, when it comes to the whole passport bro notion, and this is somebody who's on the other side of that perspective, who's on the other side of this whole thing. First and foremost, y'all got to remember that class plays a role in all this. Because most of the guys who are, I had a discussion with some good brothers about, the whole thing about passport bros. And first and foremost, class plays a role in this. So if you are working class or a lower middle class, something like that, trust and believe you're going to go, when you go to certain places, the best you can hope for is somewhere in the middle class. Because if you are upper class or something like that, or trying to work your way up to the upper class, your best bet is and you find somebody who is upper class, your best bet is to use your degree and your business connections to find a woman in that class. So you get in where you fit in, so to speak. And that's something I think some people forget about when it comes to going overseas. You're thinking, oh, these women are just going to throw themselves because you have that U.S. passport. Not understanding, or because you have this European passport. Right now, those European passports have a lot greater appeal right now. But the thing is classism plays a role in all of this. But
I think classism
people
is key,
forget.
actually.
It's key because a woman from the upper class is not going to get with somebody who's a middle class person in stateside or Europe. It doesn't work like that because her father could be a doctor or an entrepreneur or could be somebody in government.
Bro,
And she's probably destined to be
I literally smashed a chick from Thailand that owned her own hotel, and I'm from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a black dude from Africa. I smashed the girl that owned her own hotel.
Yeah, I'm a fellow African as well, so I know what you mean. But this hotel, where was this? Was this in a working class neighborhood or what?
You smashed a woman, like shoot.
Even a pool boy. I'm saying she owned the hotel. It wasn't like it was like somebody was running it. She worked there. She owned the hotel. She invited me to her condo, and I went there and I smashed it.
Anybody can smash anybody. You got necessarily to look. You got the
This talking about classism. This girl's from a high class Thai from Bangkok. This is not like Pattaya where you guys are running around talking to like girls from Beach Road.
I never told her I came from America.
Hold on, Zulu. It's okay, Zulu. It's cool. Just let him finish. Please let him finish.
My only point I was trying to land is that I don't even think it's a classism thing. I think it's just more about who has the confidence to be who they are. If you're comfortable in your skin, anywhere you go in this world, nobody's gonna look at you like you're not gonna notice that all these little things you guys are talking about here, like, oh, they're white. Like it has nothing to do with that. If you're on your own purpose, you are who you are. Like you're gonna be all right. Bro.
So my question. I'm gonna be rude. So we got a liar now. So I'm gonna be rude, right? So my question is, so if you as a Sudanese individual, right, you went there with your Sudanese passport, you went to, let's say, Japan, right? And then
nobody goes walking around with a passport showing to people when you're in the street, bro.
Let me finish.
Let him land.
Jesus.
Let him land.
Now, if you went to necessarily Japan or whatever, right, and let's say a same Black American of same build or with same quality, whatever, right, also went to quote unquote Japan, right, and y'all was going after the same woman, you think necessarily because the woman is not going to make the calculation that this person is an American, this person is from South Sudan or Sudan, I'm not too sure which country you didn't give me an exact example, that she's not going to make that mental calculation also?
Bro, I've done this many times is what I'm trying to even show.
All I'm asking you is that a yes or no thing, either yes or no. She's not going to make that mental calculation. Just
it depends on it depends on my confidence. I feel like that's just her. If you a lame ass nigga overseas, you gonna be a lame ass nigga over here, bro.
Calm down with the lame ass nigga conversation, bro. So all I'm asking is simply is this, bro. So you said the answer is no.
Being lame is generational, bro. If you lame, you're gonna be lame anyway, bro.
I'm trying to get us, bro. Why are you doing all this yo-yo stuff? I'm asking. It's a yes or no question. So you said no, correct?
Uh-huh.
All right, cool. So I mean, I really wish you to go ahead and try that, then, my bro. You will get a vast rude awakening to the world.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
I'll give you another story. I'll give you another story. Okay, look, check this out. I was in Thailand. I was in Thailand, right? There was me, three brothers from the UK, and one Black American dude from California. We're all hanging out, we're having a good time, you know. And then towards the end of the night, all the girls was choosing, right? Out of all the girls that they're side chicks, not that bad for me personally, but they were like 3 of them chose me. One of the my homie from California, the girl that he was with was choosing me over him towards the end of the night, and she's like, bro, she wants to go with you. I'm like, bro, like she not even my type, you know. She was thick over her, you know, but just to make things smooth and like make everybody comfortable, I rolled around with the plan. We went, you know, we had fun, but it was just like girls be choosing. Like I never had to tell the girl like, oh, I'm from America. I don't even leave with my passport. There's no reason to do all that. It's just who you are.
So there's levels to this. Like, so being able to bang is one thing, but
they can look at me and be like, oh, this nigga's African. I tell them stories. I don't tell nobody I'm from America.
I think his child is hurt right now, so never mind. My bad.
Now, Zulu, let me hold on a second because hold on to the brother who said he's African. Where exactly are you from, bro? Where you originally from? Where in Sudan? Where in Sudan?
Khartoum.
Khartoum. Okay. أنا من إريتريا وفي مدينة الأسمرة. Okay. It's Rafna, brother. What's up, bro? So he's from next door. So I get where he's coming from. Because, you know, I fucks with Sudanese cats. You know, we go back. We go deep. I get where sorry, I didn't get your name, bro. No, so your handle.
Aries.
Aries? Oh, you're an Aries? All right.
Yeah,
okay. April 2nd. Oh, okay. Oh, we gotta introduce his brother Charles one of these days. Because we got a brother who's born on April Fool's Day. But you know, he's cool. We'll talk about that later. I get where Aries is coming from when he's talking about this stuff because remember, this guy's gotta be like, what are you, like 6 foot? You're solid, I take it?
Oh, you think he's from the Dinka tribe that like 6
No. He's from Sudan. No, he's from Khartoum. No, I'm not Dinka. Dinka is South Sudan. He's from the north.
Oh, okay.
I know where he's from, because I'm from next door. I know what he's talking about. I know exactly what he's trying to say, what he's trying to convey. It's just like, you know, it's just not getting through to y'all. It's not your fault. Not your fault. No, Zulu. I'm not saying you did anything.
No. I understand what you're saying. That's why I say everything being quote unquote equal. So let's say if the person that he was going out was equally tall as him, same skin complexion, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying like he being South Sudan, maybe he like 6'2" or some shit. So he's standing over like some 5'2" dudes and being like, yeah,
he's from the north. It's different. It's different.
You like 6'2" and what's a 5'2" dudes? I mean, you're not in a competition.
I get it. I get where everybody's coming from.
Everything is being equal, man. I missed that.
I get it. Yeah, I know. It's just y'all just, you know, I get it. I understand what everybody's talking about. But what he's trying to say is like, you know, everything being equal. Just that Thai chick, that Thai woman, for some reason she was just drawn to him because there was something about him she was drawn to. It had nothing to do with password and everything. It was on a primal level. That's all it was. It was something in her subconscious. That's why she was digging him. That's all it was. I've had the same effect. I've had the same experience myself. They didn't. I mean, my voice, threw them off for a loop and everything. But when I told them where I'm from and everything, they're like, "Oh, now I got exotified and everything."
Yeah, no. See, I think that makes sense. You see, what I'm saying is like, all right, if you see what I'm saying, whatever he build he is, and he goes necessarily to Thailand or whatever, right? And then I mean, he got another dude who got the same kind of build, same physique, whatever, right? But he just did American, and she coming down to, let's say, for a tiebreaker, who she gonna go with? If she's looking at if you got everything else is basically the same. That passport is going to be, or the reputation is going to be.
Who leads with the passport though? Why would you lead with the passport when you out traveling? Why would you be saying anything like that?
Yeah, but what you talking about is like
hold on, bro.
Yeah, Zulu. Zulu. That's not what we're saying. I'm saying. I hear you, fam. I get what you're trying to say. I was just explaining to you that he didn't leave with his passport. He didn't need to. It had nothing to do with the passport.
Yeah.
There are women who've met him just on the strength of him, how he carries himself as a man and his character. That's all it is. I mean,
seems more like aesthetics to me, man.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. How he carries himself and everything, aesthetics.
Which is why I said, right? If his aesthetic is equal, right? See what I'm saying, right? And he tried that same move again, he would probably get a different result. I'm not saying that quote unquote, he's not pulling them with whatever, right? But it's different when necessarily, if you like, he said he went to Thailand necessarily. Well, I think the average height of the average chick is like 5'2" necessarily, right? And it'd be different if you went to, let's say, Holland or what's within taller northern countries, whatever, right? When an average individual woman is like 6'1" or some shit. Like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a different kind of feel if he went to there than he went.
Wait, have you been to Sweden or the Netherlands or something like that? You talk like you've been to the Netherlands, man. Or 6 foot plus women. 6 foot blondes like a motherfucker.
I only simply saying is just that when you're in an environment,
let me say something. Even if we leave those Southeast Asian countries, if we go to Europe, per se, I did the same thing in Spain, in France. Like, this is not like my point being is that, like, if you have to leave with your passport, that's what's gonna make you a lame ass nigga. So I'm not even necessarily saying you guys are lame, but I'm just saying, like, you don't. If you are who you are, you can do the same thing in Europe. You don't have to go to these cheap countries. I did. Even Austin said Brazil is very racist, but nigga, me, I'm darker than the average Brazil. I feel like, and I was doing good out there. And I barely spoke the language, but I had a good time.
That sounds like a whole lot of alpha your way through it type of talk. I mean, yeah, you want to go wherever you have like the best chance and whatnot. And yeah, I hear those things
That's the
like,
point we're
leave
making.
with your wallet and all that good stuff, but that stuff actually matters as well. I do kind of want to get back, and that kind of brings me back kind of to one of our core topics of this discussion today, which is the whole idea of prestige versus just profit, like prestige versus just money. Like, because I was trying to really hammer home that point of like racialized prestige and eroticized hierarchy that we end up having to deal with.
Because I was going to ask the guy from South Sudan, right? But I'm just going to be honest with you, right? If you know,
go ahead. What'd you say?
What I was trying to say is, right now, if you went to Brazil, right now, granted, I'm not seeing you personally, right? But I'm just hearing you, right? You sound like a Black American by default, right?
In Brazil, that wouldn't matter because everybody speaks Portuguese, bro. You can't really use your Black American privileges out there.
Hold on, right? So if you don't believe necessarily, right, that you don't get any benefit from sounding and appearing like a Black American, probably necessarily in their eyes. You don't believe that gives you no benefits.
Everybody knows I'm African. There's no difference. You can, okay, bro. When you're in Brazil, I can't hear. It's like my. Can you hear me?
I can hear y'all. Aries, you sound good. I think Zulu's like borging out a little bit, but
I said in Brazil you have to speak Portuguese, depending on even what part of Brazil you are. If you're in Sao Paulo, the Portuguese is different than the Portuguese in Rio de Janeiro. There's not. It's like there's a
Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, there's a formal different way they speak in Sao Paulo. There's a different way that they speak in Rio. It's like
I'll
they're
give you a
not.
better
It's
example
not
to
gonna
your
help you at
points.
all. Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a better example to your points, because if you're in Salvador, in the north, there's a high concentration of Afro-Brazilian culture right there. But the further south you go, the whiter it gets, especially if you go to places like Fortaleza or Belo Horizonte, stuff like that. And I do have friends and family, and not family, but friends in Brazil who are neighbors, and they tell you like the further south you go, the whiter it gets. Same thing in
It definitely
Argentina
can.
as well as Chile and everything. So the rate about preference or prestige, there is a bit of the prestige aspect of it when it comes to interracial dating is that you can land a person of this particular race and nationality, which means you have access and your family has access to certain connections and whatnot. That's the one thing people forget about the significance of it, especially with the U.S. and American.
If you've been in Brazil, isn't it true that most of the darker people in Brazil are kind of like not? I would say the lower class, but also like some of the poorest people.
Yeah, because because remember, slavery did not end until slavery did not end until 1890 over there. That was the last place where slavery ended.
So shouldn't it be harder than me? Shouldn't it be harder for somebody like me to pull, right?
Because prestige, bro, like it's like you act as if people can't tell you're not from that environment. Like that's the crazy part. Like, we keep saying about this conversation. Like I can understand a Jamaican can come to a Black American in an event necessarily and get a whole bunch of prestige because he's the only Jamaican there. You understand, that gravitas of being the only one of that special whatever kind being in a certain environment, right? In a way, necessarily, if you was the only let's say Italian dude necessarily in America, right? I'm pretty sure like people will gravitate to you because they'll be like, what's Italian like? How was the food there? How was the culture? You're going to get natural gravitas because people are interested, right? Especially you being the only one.
Okay, I can give you that in like, let's say maybe in a let's I could give I can give you that if, let's say, we're talking about Wyoming, if we're somewhere in Wyoming. But nigga, if we're like in New York and me and Austin are there, like we're in the same playing field.
Bro, you keep changing this thing to suit whatever you saying. Because like first you said you was in Brazil or something like that. Like, I mean, if you go to Brazil, bro, and you sound like a Black American, they're going to perceive you through that lens.
You were trying to tell me that Brazilians were looking at me like I'm from America. I'm telling you, like, no, I'm Sudanese. I look African as fuck. Like,
I understand.
Let me kind of reel stuff back a little bit because like we're getting like off into like a little bit of the weeds and like the chat is like confused about what was the topic again? We don't even know what the topic was about.
Sorry about that.
It was about really prestige, realistically, and how that affects you basically as you go out necessarily into the world. That's really what the conversation was about, if I remember correctly. Am I wrong or right?
Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I wasn't understanding the word prestige. Are you talking prestige meaning like just a better quality of life, or what's prestige to you guys? Can you define for me? Maybe I'm in the wrong here.
Prestige is like status, because if you are state is like a status symbol of sorts. That's what prestige means. Prestige is something like a like say if you have been or if you won an award, a very that award raises you to a high esteem because it's very prestigious.
Yeah, and particularly.
But prestige also plays with illusion. But go ahead. Excuse me.
So what's prestigious about somebody? Just give me an example. Like, let's say I'm, like I told you, from Sudan, and then let's say Austin's from Texas.
Okay,
what's our prestige like compared?
The prestige is necessarily right. Even though I don't know you, I don't know anybody from Sudan, I assume that you may be tall because that's just prestige of the area, right? Like I don't know anybody necessarily like I know a few people from Kenya, right? But the perception that is of a Kenyan is a Kenyan also have a giant forehead, right? So I mean, but see what I'm saying, right? It's the prestige. Like I know when I meet these in groups of people, these things is most likely going to be there necessarily. I guess you would consider like your aura or your what's the word I'm looking for?
Honor.
Not honor. If the honor is the wrong word. If people know about you, reputation.
Stereotype.
Reputation. Yeah. Right? Honor, reputation. They go hand in hand.
right? It goes close to hand in hand, right? Like, so basically when they say, all right, cool, now you may be Sunni necessarily culturally whatever, right? But like to the average quote unquote Brazilian who doesn't know that, like they just say, oh, he talks like a Black American, he's probably Black American, right? Because I mean, there's a variety of different types of Black Americans that have different looks. That's what I'm saying. So in their eye, they gonna say, oh, maybe you're this until you come out and say, oh, cool, no, I'm actually I'm South Sudan, I'm Sudanian or whatever, right? They wouldn't know.
Oh, so basically you're saying like they already have perception of me before even seeing me. So like if I went to Brazil as just as a Black person, they automatically assume I'm a Black American. Is that what I'm hearing?
If you came with the link, if I applied this, right, it just says like if I came from South Africa, right, and I started speaking South African, or say Zulu, whatever, you would think by prestige and say, because I'm speaking to you in Zulu, you'd be like, oh, this is probably a Zulu man. But nah, I could have just learned how to speak Zulu and just live down there for a extended period of time. But from a foreigner perspective, you think this is a Zulu person.
Yeah, I kind of like. Did you get it in like when from the beginning when I was playing the video? Like, this is pretty like simple and straightforward. Like we were talking about how we have prestige over here, where we have Black women seeking white men on the prestige side of things because of all of these like cultural narratives, and even the cultural narratives that they end up propagating. This whole like, oh, they're better because of this, they're better because of that. Oh, it's soft life. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's the other. And then like, meanwhile, they'll be like pushing all of this stuff about like, hyping up the white male image, while at the same time they're actually paying for the stuff. Like you'll have this whole entire apparatus around like pushing up and propping up like white status and prestige. Now, on the other hand, like Austin was arguing that, okay, in certain parts of the world, you have like people that are just, having like less opportunities, less wealth, less resources. So he's kind of like arguing that it's more about resources. So that's kind of like the dynamic that we were kind of debating here. And I argue that a lot of these social engineering and all of these like social messaging are actually going out. They're propagating out, so that we can't necessarily say that it's all about just resources, that it's actually it's more or less becoming more about the prestige. You get it?
Yeah.
I understand.
It's like it's the same reason why I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna sound. Hopefully, I don't want to offend nobody, right? While Arabs cling to the idea of them being Egyptian necessarily, when clearly that ain't really their history, right? But they claim it for the prestige of it, right? When you hear the name Egypt, right? It ain't no Arab necessarily did that, but you know what I'm saying? The name quote unquote Egypt necessarily still holds weight, even though it's probably like almost a million years later. The name still has prestige, but because of it, right?
Yeah.
That's why people try to claim the name of Egypt, even though that's not even the same people that's there.
The pharaohs, because you claim it's your descent to the pharaohs and whatnot. Oh,
yeah.
To Mr. G, I think I know another term you can go with prestige. Reputable, because what's also besides honor and prestige is reputation, like we said earlier. So reputable place, or you come from a reputable family, means you're held in high regard. So the prestige factor, I think the whole prestige thing is like a bit of a facade, but I get it. Why?
I don't know. I think we're lying about that.
Hi guys. Can one of you guys look up what prestige and prestigious, this is Mr. G, means? Because I think y'all just like associating things with what don't belong. Talking about like somebody prefer a Jamaican guy, then that's prestige. No, that's preference. You prefer that. Prestige. I think you guys are mixing these two things. And then when it comes to like dating overseas and dating a different phenotype and things of that nature, talking about Brazilians and stuff like that, I think that's preference, and I think the line can be blurred where it get there's something prestigious about that, right? Where you have a certain class of woman, right? Or you being an American, they think with you being an American comes with economic power, with more economic access, right? Access, prestige. When something is prestige, it's upper class. It's a different class. It doesn't have necessarily have to be upper class, but there's a value to it.
It's a
Prestige, right? So there's access. When you talk about prestige, economic will come into term, class will come into term, right? So that Brazilian woman dating you maybe look at it. Okay, there's that is prestige. Her friends look at her and like, oh man, that's prestige because now you have access to different things. But you as an American dating, I think that's preference. I don't think there's nothing. I don't know. I think it get blurred a little bit
you
where
actually
it becomes almost the same thing somewhat, but I think
Yeah,
there's a
I just
difference.
found the definition for the word. I just found the definition, if I may read it out, Inspired
Thank
Truth.
you.
Thank you. Okay, it says here, prestige is the noun, the quality of how good the reputation of something or someone is, how favorably someone or something is regarded. It also it can the synonyms for obsolete or delusional or illusion or trick because the word is used in magic
Mhm.
or performance. A lot of people forget there was a movie called The Prestige with Edward Norton. But what we're talking about is here the quality of how good the reputation of someone or something is, or how favorably something or someone is regarded. This is what Mr. G is talking about.
Yeah, and that's kind of going to end up becoming a big part of like your preferences. Like your preferences will be shaped by your perception of prestige. That's why people go to
Mm-hmm.
prestigious universities, as you said in the chat. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
go to try to live in prestigious areas. It impacts your preferences.
And that's why a lot of women would prefer a doctor over a plumber, even though the plumber might be making more money. They still want the doctor because he has a prestige with
Yeah.
his title.
Yeah, and like even when you have like the ladies over here in the States, like in the US, like sometimes in some ways they might see African black men as more prestigious than American black men because they've been dissing and ranking on black American men so much that that now becomes like a prestige.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you, the person who just looked that up, I don't know if you can enter in chat GPT. I could do that too, but I'm busy right now doing the cooking. The difference, because I know chat GPT will like really lay it out, right? So we can take this
Uh-huh.
conversation somewhere. The difference with prestige and preference. But as you guys said, you guys are spot on though, as far as like, where something can be prestige and then there's the preference. But I think sometimes it's just like something, it's just preference. I don't think that prestige and sometimes it enters. I don't know. I
No,
thought some of the things that you guys were discussing, some of
Uh-huh.
it is more like preference, but some of
Yeah.
it is like, yeah, it's preference
but it
because
links
it comes
into it
with a
though.
certain prestige.
Yeah,
It
that whole
links.
Mhm.
preference thing
It's
becomes
linked
like a
into it though.
mask and an excuse. Like it's a mask and an
Yeah. I'm
excuse to
looking that up right now for him. I'm not using I'm using a different search engine and they have their own AI. But
okay,
it
well
says
why
So
here
like,
prestige. Oh, I have it
oh go
already.
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry about that. My apologies for being rude. But anyway, the definitions for prestige and preference. Prestige refers to the level of respect or admiration that a person, group, or thing holds in the eyes of others. It is often associated with excellence or a strong reputation. Example: a prestigious university is highly regarded for its academic excellence. A luxury brand may have prestige due to its quality and exclusivity. Preference, meaning preference indicates a greater liking for one option over others. It reflects individual choices based on personal tastes and desires. Example, someone may have a preference for chocolate ice cream over vanilla, or a consumer might prefer a specific brand of shoes due to comfort. Hope that satisfies your inquisition, Mr. G.
Let me get
It does for
another
me.
thing back in with
Thank
Austin.
you.
Like
Thank
'cause
you. Go
I
ahead,
asked him
guys.
one thing earlier. I guess I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like forgot to circle back in on it. It was the whole
Mm-hmm.
idea of black women in mass not wanting to kind of go the interracial route because of some of the history that we have here in America. But then I went ahead and I pulled up some stuff like, okay, the Pulaski riot and how that was actually kind of started like that with the black mistress. I brought up like Strom Thurmond having a black daughter. I brought up like in the video, and then I brought up like the recent, one of the more recent guys with all of his like racial rants, and then he could still get a line, a nice supply of black women regardless, all up in his matches.
The prestige, bro. They want the prestige of a white man, no matter regardless. So I mean, it's the same thing. Like I said, when I was in Uganda and I was in a hotel / apartment, whatever you want to call it, right? And then one girl came in there and said, "A Mzungu was here," and almost the entire apartment emptied of women. I'm telling you, it had to be at least 12 women in there.
And that reflects oftentimes the women in two ways. That influences two aspects of the women, because those women obviously are lower or working class, and they're probably coming from certain neighborhood, certain backgrounds, where a Mzungu could just uplift their prestige that way. Because imagine if they come back to their hometowns with a white husband, that local prestige goes up. Go ahead.
I've seen the same shit necessarily for me, because I dealt with most women necessarily, let's say it's in the upper class. But I mean, when I talk to them, their family has at least they own at least 2 to 3 businesses. When especially when I'm talking in Uganda, right? Even then, like let's say a Mzungu come to church or whatever, bro. Oh, that whole church was swift. I mean, every head in that building swift when Mzungu walk in there. And I may have walked in there necessarily earlier to that day or something, but I promise you, let that Mzungu walk up in there necessarily with a Jesus portrait already on the on the windows. Oh, it's already over, bro. I promise you, it's over.
Yeah, let me ask you something. When that Mzungu came out the church, when he came into the church, did he have a halo and he was glowing like Jesus?
He might as well had to, bro. He might as well.
He might have been floating on the whole. He might as well be floating on the church water while he was at it.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you,
I heard you guys mention.
Even the baby got up and looked at him. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, bro, you can barely stand. Now, how you do that? So.
The brother from the
all miracles are possible in the presence of God.
The Proud Boys like Black Lives too, and a lot of times they'll end up kind of like pointing out to, oh, hey, I have a black girlfriend or I have a black wife, to kind of like erase like all of their transgressions on the racial end of things. Like that.
It's more of a cover, but yeah,
it becomes kind of like a cover.
Oh, but especially with Asians, because remember, even the founder of the group, the Proud Boys, is British and Canadian. His name is Gavin McInnes. Most people might remember him as one of the 3 founders of Vice Media. He hides behind the fact that his wife is Native American, is part white and Native American, and she's supposedly a switch hitter. So the LGBT factor just covers him from being accused of being anti-LGBT plus and everything.
Wow.
Yep.
Surprised are we? Surprised are we, folks?
Not me.
Not to mention they wear a certain type of polo shirt to show that they are part of that organization.
True.
Sometimes
now, this question I hear about, like, if every woman is looking for like a stability out of a man, like, okay, here's the deal. Like, so that goes back to like the resources thing. And so you do have women that will seek resources, but sometimes often women will pursue their emotions even over that. And so they'll have an emotional connection to like perceived status. And so that's why you'll end up with like the Danish deception. You'll end up with like all of these other, or you'll end up like with Rose or something like that, where you have the ladies like putting out this front, like, oh, he's giving me the soft life, while behind the scenes, they're paying for it. Like they're paying for status. Like you will pay to go to Harvard. You will pay to go to Yale. Like it's the prestige. You will pay for it.
Yeah, I have seen this thing before, because I've been in Uganda, and it's all of a sudden like, just for me having an American accent, and I actually do. I don't say my actual skill set, but they actually saw, oh, you for the American. This is probably like 5 years ago. They was like, oh, come over here and have a drink with me, so and so and so and so. And it was after just the prestige that I was just a Black American, right? No different other than that.
You don't think it was those kind of just being nice to like meet somebody new from another part of the country, or no?
Nah, could trust me. I can guarantee you, if you was Nigerian, I guarantee you wouldn't have got that same thing. If you was probably like South African, you probably would never got that same thing. If you was Tanzanian, you went there, you probably wouldn't have got the same thing. It was really, I can definitely tell because I was Black American, and I'm like, I physically look different than everybody else there.
Yeah.
I got
but that's basic. But that's basic. That's basic things, though. Especially being overseas. But you could almost say similar stuff like that could happen in an environment that here in the United States, where you have a person of, they perceive this person of being a different type of person, and they give that person a certain access. Not to know, I was just watching a video where this guy talking about Miami. You've seen these videos. I'm sure you guys seen these videos where these girls, they go to the club. When they must talk about South Beach, if you guys understand Florida, because Miami there's the South Beach that you guys see on TV that's commercialized, and there's the Miami where it's not mostly shown. But when you go over there, they're very prejudiced, right? If you're a little too thick, if the girl's a little too thick, if the dress she's wearing is seeming to be a little bit more cheap or some sheen type shit, they're not gonna let you in, right? Where you could have somebody where they perceive this person to be of a certain class or have money or whatnot, but they may not know, and they let this person in. So the same dynamic can happen here in the States too.
I think I have an answer to that actually ready for you. Like, so you have like novelty, and then you have prestige. Like, you can have like a new restaurant, and people will flock to the new restaurant because it's a new restaurant. And then you have a restaurant that's like a 5-star Michelin, rated restaurant, and people will flock to that because it is a prestigious restaurant. So you'll have like kind of like interest, but it's like temporary, quickly expiring interest, and then you'll have like a long, sustainable thing where your reputation precedes you before you even open your mouth.
And I think it's a little bit of both. Because like this, no matter like I've seen the same shit with Jamaicans, because Jamaicans are damn near everywhere, right? When I've seen Jamaicans pretty much in with the Kenya, right? They get a pretty decent respect because, quote unquote, everybody knows Jamaicans are just being some cool, chill people that like to eat, right? That's the global.
Also, Bob Marley and reggae.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the global image, if they like it or not, right? So they get necessary respect just because of that. People be like guan, even if they don't even speak a lick of patois at all. They know that much.
Let me quit this other chat response to, like, so the whole thing about that emotional connection. Like, here's the thing about like women. There's a saying, like, you can make a woman feel good, you can make a woman feel bad, but you better not make a woman feel bored. All of that stuff is emotional engagement. And there's people that'll actually kind of respond to like all of the negative history in a way that it actually turns them on. It's like eroticized, and like you can actually go and look this stuff up. Like, this isn't cap. Like, this is something you can find out if you go and look for it.
I mean, I think also some people forget about, like, some women will want to get involved with certain type of men because it's taboo. The danger, the thrill, or the danger factor with getting involved with certain men. I mean, like our brother here mentioned earlier, like when he got involved with that Thai woman, there must have been like a danger factor or like the forbidden thing getting with him. Or maybe she just had a preference for black men, but she saw something in him on an animalistic primal aspect. Because remember, women are not always logical. For the most part, they're emotional. They let the white part of they use the white part of their brain. That's the limbic system where all the sensories are. That's the part that processes all the sensory information. That part of the brain is used more often because that's where your emotions, your senses are all processed. The gray matter is where most of your logical thinking is, especially the frontal and prefrontal lobe. And so women just are more emotional that way because they have to out of survival, and they try to read you a sense if you're going to keep them safe or not. But to bore them Oh, there's a DL Hughley joke about, the word a woman can forgive for anything, but to bore her, that's a death nail right there.
Absolutely. And that the thing about like the way that they end up reacting off of things, like from the emotional side of things, like your emotional side kind of that evolves from your subconscious. That's something where you're making these decisions without actually having them filtered through your prefrontal cortex. Like there's a point to that, like so you can choose between different types of cereal and stuff. But the whole point here is that means that you're highly shaped by your social environment. That means that those messages that you get, you're going to be affected by them. Like that's why I say that it's probably worse here in the States than it is over there on the continent, where you're a majority as opposed to a minority.
Yeah. And to your point about, sorry to go a little neurological here, folks, but it's relevant to the conversation. I'm not trying to go into the weeds here, but you mentioned the prefrontal and the frontal cortex, which is a part of logical thinking. That part of the brain is responsible for both logical thinking and in controlling your impulses. Impulse control is there. But what's also, we forget here also is that self-awareness is not in everyone. The vast majority of people do not have self-awareness. Everybody in here who's on this chat here, we're all discussing because we have some level of self-awareness. We have a greater capacity for self-awareness. So we have a greater capacity for long-term logical thinking and impulse control. Children do not have it, but they have to develop it eventually. Most women do not. That's why they mostly operate, on autopilot with their subconscious.
And brothers, sometimes women just get horny. If you're at the right place at the right time,
yes,
that's true.
Yes. Say it again, brother. Say it again, black man. Say it again.
I don't see all these brothers. I mean, you got bodybuilders, models, all this stuff. Sometimes they can't get no action, and then sometimes you see somebody who he get action. Sometimes women just act. They just human beings, and they will act crazy and do what they want to do when they want to do it. Sometimes.
To Tunel Runner's point, thank you, bro, because we often forget that women are human beings. We have to acknowledge their humanity. That's the only way we can move forward. Especially by having this discussion, we have to first and foremost acknowledge that they're human beings. Half the time, they don't want to acknowledge that we're human beings and understand our humanity. But we have a greater capacity for empathy. That doesn't mean we have to get all emotionally caught up in it. We can understand their emotions, but not let it override our logic. And to your point, to Channel Runner, there's a song back in the 80s by Salt and Pepper called Push It. I'm sure that runs through a lot of women's minds. When they see a certain man, they're like, ooh, baby, baby. But let's continue. Let's get back to topic. Yeah. Hey, Emma, find the lie on what I did. I didn't mean to be too funny, but it's the truth here. No lies. Go ahead.
Shoot, I got knocked off. Like you had a good point on that one there.
Hey, that's why Salt and Pepper had a song called Let's Talk About Sex. But that's another discussion for another time here, folks.
Yeah, but I guess kind of like get back to the because you did make a good point about like women are human. Like we've got to treat them like humans. We got to acknowledge them as humans. We have had in the past a lot of idealizing them and a lot of mythical stories about them where we put in all of this
pedestalization.
Yes, pedestalization, moralization, like making them out to be like morally superior. And it's what we've seen here in the past few years, and what I've shown you in the videos earlier from the clips, and this is just like one of very, very many. Very, very this I couldn't put every single clip, but like, yeah, that whole morality thing, like that moral superiority does not exist. It's not real. It never was real. We just put it as something real when it's not. And we're gonna, if we're moving forward, we're gonna have to like deal with people as humans. We're gonna have to deal with things as observable reality, and we're gonna have to deal with
well. Speaking of dealing with them as human, Because I don't want you guys to kind of contradict yourselves, but I've heard a few red pillish, and I'm only saying red pillish because I don't want to stamp you guys with the red pill, but I've heard some of that here, where you guys are
Oh, you can stamp me with it 100%, bro.
Yeah, man, because all
psychologize.
red pill really is just the truth. Like, do you accept reality
Yeah.
or do you not?
and
Like,
and
I
and
mean,
and
people
and,
have like,
and not that I have anything
disparagement.
against it, but we, as brothers who've been in these spaces, we have to admit that over the years there's been a little bit of too fully retarded as far as some of these red pill talking points and things of that nature. And I think you guys, because you guys are just saying after he said what he said, where he was psychologizing these that population, the women population,
Mhm.
which I kind of agree with some of the things, but I do think at times you guys try to find these certain theories, and this is why I mentioned red pill. And you guys forgot the basic stuff, of the environment, right? There's
Mhm.
attraction and things of that nature. There's just certain things, as the brother said. Well, sometimes the women is just horny, bam, bam, bam. It could just be your night, blah, blah, blah. It could just be that. There's some things I think that where people they sort of overthink these things. For example, right? As I said, red pill, right? One of the things that the red pill people talk about, right, is like the high thing, blah blah blah. But when you go out in the real environment, go to a
Okay,
fair,
so
go to church, go. I mean, the things that these people talk about, right? Because listen, bro, I used to be, and I haven't done it in a while, but there's an app called Clubhouse, and I think you guys probably know it. So that red pill shit is over there too, where people talk about all these stuff about relationships. All they do is
okay,
talk about
so
relation topics. Listen. So I'll be on Sundays. I usually go to the farmers market. Into a,
I think we
I don't know
lost you.
if you guys.
I don't hear you.
I'll be
All right,
listening
let
to a
me.
conversation. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'll be listening to a conversation about relationship and dating dynamics between men and women. And I'm outside at the farmers looking at people coming from church. I'm looking.
You're cutting in and out. We can't really hear you, but I think I better respond because like it's getting kind of long, and eventually I'm going to have to wrap things up.
My bad, bro. I got a call. I was gonna say sometimes some of these things that's
Yeah, you're out again.
He's going
Let me
again.
go ahead
I
and
got to call
respond
this dude. He must have
because I gotta respond. All right, so here's the thing. Like, I understand the whole idea of like taking a big broad brush and smearing the whole thing and saying, "Oh, this is all red pill." But the core of the original theme of red pill was accepting reality. That's all it was about. It was about accepting the truth. That's what it was about. Now you'll have all of these other people that will grab the red pill moniker. You'll have people that will call themselves whatever. You'll have people like in the manosphere, but you have all these different sectors of things. You'll have like the black manosphere, and then you will have the clanosphere. These are radically different spaces. Okay, like what people are talking about over there does not apply over here and doesn't apply over into this other sector and doesn't apply to the next sector. Like this whole thing really kind of evolves out of the idea of men sharing notes. Men saying, okay, look, this is what I'm experiencing. And then the other person saying, okay, now I'm experiencing this. This is what I learned from that. And then like comparing things and then making their analysis and then making their judgments and then saying, okay, this is what reality is. I understand now. I'm going to do away with all of these myths. Like that's what this is about. And so the whole thing about environment, yes, environment does matter because environment shapes your culture shapes your behavior, and your behavior actually ends up impacting your outcomes. And that's a part of what a lot of this push towards travel is and towards black men getting out and getting into like other spaces. Because like I've been trying to explain earlier, like the issue that we deal with here isn't a few bad apples, it's the soil. Like it's the actual soil, that the environment that you actually are existing in. And if you want to get up off of that soil and you want to actually go and experience some other environments, people like Auston can hook you up.
And I do agree with that, right? And by the way, I have a whole daughter overseas. I have a whole relationship. I have a whole nother trip coming up. I literally have monthly bills overseas, so you can't tell nobody about this more than you. I'm part of the community. I understand, but you do have to understand though. Sometimes, right? People kind of these sort of ideas, these templates, right? These starter packs, they take them too serious. It's so hardcore in their mind. They'll talk about the height thing, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then you go outside in the real world, you're looking at women with, you know, men with beautiful women. And you're like, damn, this nigga's not even 6 feet. I'm 5'11". I know I'm taller than him. Like, so what are these people talking about online? I mean, is it true? Yes.
What they're talking about is this, like there's like generalities and then there's like the exception, and like the exception does not like prove the rule. Like it's not like you're gonna like see, typically speaking, a whole lot of women going for a dude that's like 5'3". Like we got to kind of actually deal with reality. Like that ain't really too much of a thing here. Is it possible? Can it happen? Sure it can. Absolutely it can. Is it happening on a like on a massive basis?
Major still?
No.
So when you go outside, so when you go outside, do you see the couples that you see, the men that you see with women? Do you see they're all like 6 foot plus?
That's not what they're saying.
That's not what we're saying. No.
What we're saying is that white women, everybody has an ideal man. You ever heard that 6'7", finance, blue-eyed, blonde? That's what would they go out with somebody else? Would they go out with a black guy, 6'7", finance, blue? Yes, they will. So what we're talking about is what is real. What is real? Everyone wants everything. They want you to have money. They want you to be good looking. They want you to be physically fit. They want everything. But will they settle for less? Yes, they will. But yeah, every woman probably has an ideal man in her head, and he's usually tall, handsome, you know, physically fit, intelligent, funny, all this stuff that we talk about. They want it all. That's what they all want it all. But will they?
And I do agree with you 1,000%. I do agree with you 1,000%, right? But in reality, and what I'm saying is, I'm also making you guys point out at the same time, right? But the real thing is, some of these women, because I'm sure you guys have seen some episodes of Kendra G show or a few other these dating whatever online, right? Where these guys, these women, they come talking about, oh, I want a man that make all the 3 6s, right? The 6 figures, blah blah blah. But then when she asked them, how about your baby daddy? Like, did he make that kind of money? Was he that kind? He was never that kind of person, right? So I do agree with what you guys are saying, but the reality is, these things, you know, because the way people preach it, you'll actually think that this is what's actually happening, right? Where these women are having kids with these 6-figure men, these 6 feet men. It's nothing like that.
I mean, technically, you kind of pushing the narrative, because we never said that. I mean, nobody in here ever said. I mean, I'm pretty sure nobody ever here said women are only sleeping with 6'5" millionaires. We never said that. That's what women claim. It's kind of like you're like what somebody say, claim, hey, I only mess with the baddest women on the planet. All I mess with is supermodels. Is his wife a supermodel? Clearly not. But I mean, that may be somebody's preference. But I mean, I think you kind of going off into the weeds yourself a little bit. Because we never said that.
There's a difference between like what some of the people are saying in the more palm colored, like less melanated spaces, and what like we're saying.
Exactly.
Like you really just came in here and just pretty much took a whole thought process from another environment and just absorted it into this environment. And we looking at you like you speaking patois.
But brother, you guys were and you guys may not have said those key quote unquote.
No one here said no. What I'm saying is I'm stopping you right now before you actually push up a false narrative. No one here said any of those things that you just pushed. Nobody. You came into
about the height.
You speaking patois in a French environment. No one here said none of that.
Did you guys did you guys mention and
No,
admit about the
you
red
go with
pill?
me. No one here said that. That's what I'm correcting you. Now you're pushing the narrative. That's what I'm saying.
Did the brother confirm and earn? Yeah, we doing the red pill thing. That's what I'm saying. It's these
Well,
these
but you're
starter pack
talking about
talking
actual
points.
black
Bro.
pill, not
Now
red
you
pill.
lying on me, bro.
Wait. Let me rephrase. Let me redirect this. Like, what you're talking about is not even red pill space. What you're talking about is black pill space, but not even the real black pill, but the white black pill. Like the folk that are like elitists, the people that are like, oh, if you're not 6'3", then it's all over. You give up and everything. Nah, that's not what we saying here. Like, we are saying like, hey, there is a preference for certain types of men. Like, and then like the lady, the person that was like in the chat was like, oh, there's not any real statistical analysis. No, we have surveys. We have dating app data. We have all of these different things that show that there's preferences for certain types of aesthetics, and there's preferences for certain types of people. Like, that is an actual thing. But we still keep in the nuance. Like, we do know that, hey, yes, a 5'3" guy with a mouthpiece can get a woman. We're not black pill, white version of black pill.
Correct.
Like I said, he came in speaking
brother. I don't mean to derail the
conversation.
conversation. Yeah, I don't mean to derail the conversation or what
Well,
like
you
you
did,
said,
though.
speak patois in a French environment. But it's just like when the brother was saying the women minds work this way, they work that way, blah blah blah. That's what I'm saying though. These sort of like template, these sort of like formulas that people try to these women, they think like women, blah blah blah. And I'm not saying that there are women.
Let me respond to that, because I need to respond to that too. Like, so here's what we're doing here, because I don't want it to be misconstrued. Definitely not for the audience, and definitely not for anybody listening. What we are saying is that there is a difference between the psychology of men and the psychology of women, and also the socialization of men and the socialization of women. We are not the same thing.
You gotta understand his environment. Maybe they preach that in his environment. Maybe they the same in their environment. So, but I don't get into everybody's cultural outlook. That's too much. That's too much. That's why I like to stay on topic, because you don't know what's going on in everybody else's house.
Yeah.
Austin, you want to get in? I see you back.
Yeah, I mean the conversation is very off from where we originally started. So
yes. People like to come in and throw off the conversation. That's why I keep saying it's just about the prestige of where you come from, right? Like, a Jamaican will get a different prestige coming to a certain environment, like in Uganda, they get a lot of prestige in that environment, right? Just because they're listening to Jamaican music, right? They get a different prestige. Like, if I go to the Philippines, I get a different prestige because they listen to American music over there. It just simply is what it is, though. Like, Korean pop necessarily in certain places is listened to. Like in America, it's sort of starting to kind of come in here. So you see more little white girls, more little girl listen to Korean pop music. It was very, very niche when I was growing up, but now it's starting to become its own thing. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, some people just fight against it for some reason. They just it don't affect me. Like, I'm a special. Okay, well, the special Negro.
Oh yeah, that everybody wants to be the exemption to the rule. Everybody knows what the rule is, but everybody wants to be the exemption to it.
I'm special, bro. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, so I guess kind of like we pretty much could like get to like closing thoughts and then wrapping stuff up. I think that like there's a little bit of both going on, but I still lean more to like the prestige side of things and the narrative that go out there and the social engineering and that kind of influencing things throughout the world. I think maybe we're getting to a space where maybe there's going to be like less white worship in the future. We're getting into a multipolar world, and that's going to be an impact when we start seeing the redistribution of the resources and the certain places getting their actual due for the actual resources and talent that they have and that they bring. Like Kenyans, they have a whole lot of talent. They have a whole lot of capability over there. Like we see them like helping us out with IT. Like I mean with AI, you know, the AI stuff and everything else. There's opportunities that are coming up, and I think maybe we can have a chance to pull things back on this whole like prestige side and also on the money side as well. But we're gonna have to actually deal with what's going on if we're going to try to reverse it. And that's kind of like my position on that there. I think there's like differences in different parts of the world, in Latin America versus South Sahara Africa versus the United States. I guess like Tony Runner, he's like, hey, you know, it ain't that much worship as like you think it is over here, because you're representing the Colombia side of things. We got you usual to represent the Uganda side of things, and then we got Auston representing over there in Kenya. So I'll let y'all kind of put in your closing thoughts.
I think that
start with Auston.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think still that I'm still going to tell Black men that they should go to Africa for their best options. Yes, I've never said that means you will be bone dry in another country. I'm just saying if you would have maximized your odds so you could have the best pool to select from, Africa would be. I know you don't need to smash every chick in the country. That's not what I said. But if you want to be able to have a good pick at something, why is having more options not the right way to go? But yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely say this much. If I'm gonna be honest with you, you gonna get more of your bang for your buck necessarily in South America and Africa when it comes to picking up a woman, especially talking about for qualities as a wife. And this is just my personal opinion. I think the best quality wife you probably gonna get is probably gonna be in Africa. But if you want, I think a woman with more of your cultural experience, as people be sometimes looking for that weird thing. I think you'll find what you're looking for maybe in South America. But overall, man, prestige is real. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not. At the end of the day, keep your funds up, keep yourself up, and I'll always look for the best option.
All right, on to you, neighbor.
Actually, I'll let Tono go first. Let Tono go first.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, you just go where you are appreciated, where you are wanted. Make sure you get respect. It's the number one thing, to be respected. Make sure whoever you're dealing with respects you, and just protect yourself at all times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, and there's a reason I like to go last, because sometimes, you know, just like Vanessa Williams, you got to save the best for last. Inspired truth. And hey,
those eyes. You had those eyes, man.
She went and saved the best for last. Those eyes, yes. And Tunnel Runner, because you mentioned the whole thing about horny, there's a song I gotta send you later. It's a German house track. It's really funny as hell. But anyway, as somebody who's on the other side of that dynamic, being African and everything, and understand, witness with my own eyes of local women getting with foreign men and everything, I understand how that operates, how this thing works. And I will say to all the passport bros, if you're going to any place in the world, do your due diligence, do your research about these countries, about the cultures. Be also vigilant about the political situation about these countries. And if you are going to one country or another, at least know some people who are from that country where you're at, where you're from. If you're from Houston, you want to go to you're going to go to Ethiopia, know some Ethiopians first, because they'll make it a point to protect you when you're down there and show you the ropes, that what are the best places to go to, where not to, because you cannot just go out there blindly. You can get lost, and a lot of things can happen to you if you're not careful. So be about your wits, keep your head on a swivel, but also have knowledge and understand the way people conduct themselves. In certain places, what you do in the U.S. does not translate the same, as much as we're being globalized. And furthermore, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, Inspired Truth, but racism will never end. There's still going to be people who have involved in-group preference and others who have out-group preferences. So people need to be realistic about how things are. with that, thank you for having me up, brother.
Thank you all for joining. And I think you made a good point about that having a network thing. There's definitely like people in this space over here. Like Auston has his network, Usual has his network. Like getting together and working things out is how we win.
Yeah. Team, together, everyone achieves more.
Absolutely. So peace out to all of y'all. Thank you so much for joining. I'll catch you all next time around and have a wonderful weekend.
You as well. Thank you for having me again.
All right, y'all. See y'all.